Shields up, Iron Breakers. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you're all having a nice morning. Hopefully we can improve on that by providing you with some entertainment during today's celebrations of the Monster Hunter 20th anniversary. I was not sleeping. The reason I'm like a couple of minutes late. I love how I always have to start my stream. See, guys, the thing is... No, but realistically, usually I work out at around noon. That's usually the time that I go work out. And today I couldn't do that because around noon I'm still going to be live streaming, probably, because of the anniversary event. So I had to work out earlier, and that's why I'm late. But yeah, hopefully you're all doing good. Good morning from Puerto Rico. Did you brush your teeth? What the hell kind of question is that? Yes, I'm not a savage. Red Devil, thank you very much for being Rose this for 26 months. Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. Thank you. Always an excuse. Yep. Mr. Muscle Man, I don't even have that big muscles. Most of my workout is just maintenance, just so that I age gracefully. Can't wait for the comment. Just go, it's not working out. It's not working out at all, Ruri. You look like crap. Oh, man. It's not working out, man. Gracefully like a swan? I don't know about that. Like, I have all of the grace of a pug. You know, those dogs that have, like, their face all mashed up. Yami Florence, thank you very much for the souls. Tip of the hat. Appreciate support. Thank you. Hey, Ori, today is my birthday. I cannot wait to see what Capcom has gotten me today. Well, happy birthday. Now, just remember, guys, they have mentioned they're not doing any announcements, okay? Most of the big news for Monster Hunter Wilds and, you know, more important stuff's going to be in the summer. This is a celebration. This is like a birthday party, all right? That doesn't mean that everybody gets presents, okay? Just watched your preview of Rise of Ronin, and I'm quite sad that you're mixed with it. As like I said in my... The interesting thing about that video is that everybody wants you to be honest right up until you say something that they don't like. There's a lot of people that are mad at me because of that video. And it's like, look, I'm always going to be honest. Come hell or high water. I don't care. Like, this is just the way that it goes. If I think that there's something that I didn't like about a video game, I'm point it out. It's just that simple. But there's a lot of people that are not happy about that. A lot of people that are upset that I criticize the game's visuals. It's like, oh my, how dare I? And the other thing that a lot of these people seem not to notice is that at the end of the video I said, I'm still having fun with the game. I'm still playing it. That's true. I am. But I still have to give people factual information, which is what I did. But people are mad about it. You know, it is what it is. GT Sunseeker, yes, the event begins in about 20 minutes. The countdown here says 6 minutes 40 because they're probably going to have a 15-minute countdown on the actual video. Would they prefer you lie to them and be even more butthurt after? I don't know. I think that might be... I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, here's where I stand. I'm always going to tell you the truth. It's that simple. If that eventually at some point gets me in trouble and some people don't want to work with me, that's too bad. You know? It is what it is. And I've always been truthful, and that is one of the things that I'm not going to give up. And so far, there's never been any problems. So, you know. I prefer you shield raid Shadow Legends. Yes! So, I wanted to show you guys something, right? I wanted to show you guys something before we get started. This is, So, I figured we go to where it all kind of began. to the very first Monster Hunter video I ever uploaded to the channel. I'm sure that there's a lot of people out there that probably think, sorry, I have this thing. There's a lot of people out there that probably think that I'm somebody who started Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter World, because that's when I really started popping off with content. The main reason behind that is because Monster Hunter World was the first one that had a worldwide release, whereas Monster Hunter games before Monster Hunter World would release in Japan, and then 1 year later they would come to the West, at which point creating content for them was extremely challenging. So I actually played Monster Hunter long before that. And I want you to see, I haven't seen this video in ages. I don't know what is in here. It's probably pretty bad. It's probably pretty bad, especially when you consider that the title of this video is Monster Hunter Freedom Unite Blue Yan Kutku, and it's a 1 hour video. It's a 1 hour video, dude. Why is it a 1 hour video? I thought it would be like 30 minutes or something. It's a 1 hour video. Oh wait, this is music from the thing. Okay, let me just see. This is how you do it, by the way. See, you see how they didn't have a dumb premiere? Because when you're a big publisher, you can not have a dumb premiere and you can just have your own countdown. See, this is perfect. I wish I could do this. But this is the way to do it. Companies need to learn from Capcom on this. No big dumb premiere sound. Look at that. But yeah, like I was saying, I'm gonna mute this temporarily while we wait. So here's the video. Look at this old intro. Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, Blue Yan Kutku. 1 hour hunt! Hello everyone. Look at this quality. So let me tell you guys about the process, okay? Let me tell you guys about the process that I used for capturing this beautiful footage that you are seeing here, okay? I just want to point out, this is at 1080p. Oh, look at my face cam's over here in the corner. Look at that. That's a young Rurikhan. Dude, I looked like a dork in those glasses. I'm gonna be real. Ever since I swapped for these, I was like, bro, what have I been doing with my life wearing these things for so long? Good Lord. I look like an idiot, dude. But anyway, like I was saying, listen. So the way that I captured this, I had this, you know, one of those things that you just like put in your car that has like a suction cup and you'll put like your phone on it. I had one of those, but for the PlayStation Vita. And so what I would do is I would stick it on a table. It was actually this table that no, it was not this one. It was a different one, but it was a table very much like this one. I stuck it on there with the suction cup, and then I would put the Vita in there. And the reasoning was, you don't want the Vita wiggling around because I couldn't capture from the Vita. So I would put it there, and then I would put a camera pointed at the Vita, and then I would play the game through the camera's viewfinder. All right? That's how I would capture Monster Hunter footage on the PlayStation
Rurikhan
Vita.
Here bringing you guys some Monster Hunter Freedom
Look, you can see it moving.
The Monster Hunter Freedom Unite game is a PS
Look at that.
emulated game. So
I'm wearing Gipsros's armor.
PlayStation portable game that they've.
Oh my god, dude.
The Vita, I think. Anyways. And I wanted to show you guys this particular version of Monster Hunter.
I'm actually thinking about it. I don't even know how I captured the face cam. How did I probably had a webcam aimed at my face, I guess. But the thing was, this was all recorded separately, right? So I would record my face on the computer, and then I would record the footage in the camera, and then it would require a decent chunk of editing to actually sync everything up. I drink Windex. Thank you very much for the souls. Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. Your stream quality dropped. It's all fussy. Shut up.
Showing you try, so that
This
you
is
guys can
good stuff.
evaluate and see for yourselves which one you guys would rather see me do, if any.
It's crazy how different you looked. See, that's the thing. To myself, I don't think I look that different.
This is my main character. I've got like, I think, 20-something hours. Maybe.
Dude, imagine saying something like, "Oh, this is my main character." In a Monster Hunter game. This is my main character. Wait till I show you guys my secondary one.
30 hours on this character.
20 hours.
If you guys
Rookie
wanna check
numbers.
out my gear, I can show you
Oh my god. No, bro. No, listen. Show us the gameplay.
This way the map is occupying one slot, so you can pick up less items. So if you're when you're hunting,
No wonder this video took 60 minutes. It's 7 minutes in. I haven't even started the hunt.
Twice with a gun lance, I'll have to reload as well as at the start of any
Oh
mission.
wait.
So right now,
Did I not have the...
reload my lance.
I think that in this video I might not have the suction cup thing yet because the Vita's like wobbling all over the place. You can see the bezel here. This is the bezel. Like we started with the Vita all the way over here and it's already down here to the corner.
I don't know why the lance doesn't come preloaded when you start the mission. It doesn't make a lot of sense. You can
Oh my
load it
god,
yourself.
look at it.
I guess it's to keep the RP feeling that you wouldn't run around with a loaded gun lance, but whatever.
Oh man.
Anyways, I'm going to be moving into this area. Now, there's going to be several monsters, and not all of them are going to be relevant to your quest. Like, for instance, this guy right here is not relevant. And
Is that a
I'm missing
Blagonga gun
I'm
lance?
playing in a very awkward position right now because I haven't shown it in front of the Vito, so
Was that my Palico threw a barrel at
I
me?
do not see this hunt going very well. Now, if you notice, there's a little cat over there, and you have is
Oh my god.
wasp things. They're very annoying. The only purpose
The
of their
best
existence,
points.
as far as I can tell, is to annoy the crap out of you. To keep
This is
you
true.
even scratching the surface with this hunt. You're not even really getting.
Come on, let's get to it. Where's Blue Yun? Oh my god, it's getting blurrier. Boom!
Crap!
Get rocked.
Interesting attack.
Equal World, thank you very much for the souls. Tip of the hat.
It's
Appreciate
very,
support.
very
Thank
hard
you.
to commentate while playing this on a Vita. I'll give you that much.
Dude, I'm getting my
Point
face
favorite monster
rocked
to
by
try.
Blue Yun Kutku.
Jesus, leave me alone, dude. Give me some time to recuperate here.
I'm using regular potions. Oh no! Why would you do this? Not regular potions, bro. Stop!
Reload.
White shelling gun lance.
Fireballs, but I'm too close for them to be effective.
Boom!
Oh, and he went down, and so did I. God damn it! Come on. My Wyvern fire is reloaded.
There it is! There it is! Boom!
Even another Wyvern fire to the face.
Did I say wyvern fire? Wyvern fire.
Sorry if the camera's a little bit shaky. It's just really hard.
Mashing buttons.
Okay,
Dude.
if you look at the sharpness indicator, which is this thing right here. my
See, guys, we
weapon
need to
is
talk
a
about the
dull-
sharpness
it's a
indicator.
dull blade right now. It looks like a serrated blade. That's when the weapon is beginning to be.
Didn't even have the
dull.
color system.
Now the problem is I'm stuck here because I cannot. I don't know exactly what his.
Bro, you're not stuck there. You could sheathe and move away.
Try and figure out
Dumbass.
an opening.
You're so
Try and
dumb.
equip my gun lance so that I'm able to run away like this.
Oh my god.
It's turning out to be quite a challenging little prick.
Look at the lighting changes as well. It's so bad.
While using the last first aid.
Not to mention, let me tell you something. Having a face cam where your face is constantly like this is another genius move, all right? Where you can never actually see the expression of my face properly because I'm just staring down. This is brilliant. Did I actually triple cart or something? I had to have triple carted.
Wyvern's up again, but it's not.
Boink.
And ran out.
Because, I mean, a 59-minute hunt?
I hope he ran.
I mean, the
over.
timer's still going.
I'll have no idea where he's gone. I sent away when I thought the camera was.
Oh, no, it's because I talked about it afterwards.
I can't believe this.
Oh, I killed him!
I should have seen this one time. I was looking for bones. I couldn't.
Dude, I killed him at like, what is this, 40 minutes? I actually won. I tripped down memory lane. I wanted to show you guys another one. This one's another oldie but goldie. This is more modern Rurikhan, but the video itself is much, much older, as you guys will see. Because this is 39, 40 minutes. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. I'm impressed at how pink you are. Okay, well,
Guys,
look at this.
enjoy. Here's the video.
So this is an old series that I did with Hengist.
What's up, everybody? Hengist and Rurikhan back.
Oh, damn,
with
my
another
face is in the way.
mighty monster hunter video. Today we're going to be hunting the baleful Giginox. And
The
what kind of a
baleful
barrel?
Giginox. Dude, look at that.
Is it jade? No, it's not jade. It's
Look at my gear, though, dude. Look at that. Oh, man. Brocky Gunlance and 3 Ultimate, dude.
And what kind of a bear off?
With the Rathalos set for damage, because I didn't even understand how shelling worked properly, dude.
Is it jade? No, it's not jade. It's some kind of a gem Baroth.
Dude,
Some kind of a
there was a time, what I don't know if people are aware, right? But I was working for this MCN TGN. I still have the bracelets. I always talk about the rubber bands that I have because I really enjoyed my time working with them because it was just really fun hanging out with Hengist, Pally Time. We would talk all the time, did live streams and all that. But anyway, I was working with them, and what we'd do is so we'd work all day on whatever video projects we had to do, and then in the evening, me and Hengist would get together and just play 3 Ultimate like 5-6 hours straight, just enjoying the game.
Tundra bear off. So this is our first time
Jade.
fighting these guys. So why don't we rendezvous?
Like look at this. We did some fancy schmancy
We've not
editing on
encountered
this.
and who does electric dam? Oh my God, there he is, right there.
Oh, I found the jade Baroth.
Okay.
This is gonna be
I'm kind
great.
of deep shit. So why don't we rendezvous on? Which one do you want to kill first?
Dude, I can't find my hot drinks. Did I not bring hot drinks? Oh, you gotta be shitting me. I brought everything but the hot drinks. That's great. Let me just mark them at least.
Okay, so the baleful Giginox is gonna have like an AOE paralysis.
Oh,
Dude, look at
By
this.
the way, this is the pink Raytheon bow that we got in the last video. Well, we actually got the pieces off camera, but that's the reason we were hunting the pink Raytheon.
Yeah, dude.
In the last video. And this is my first time using it, so it's basically a lot better than the Queen Blaster. We'll see how it turns out. It's got...
Get him. Oof. I just got slammed.
Look out! Yeah, it's like some WWE move he does right there.
What the hell is he doing? He's still just charging up his paralysis. Right done with that? I'm not gonna have to kill you.
Oh, look at that. The old
he's
poke
getting
shell
message.
poke.
I don't think he likes your Wyvern's Fire too much.
That wasn't Wyvern's Fire.
That was actually charge shell. I was already charge shelling back then. I'm actually
I can
surprised.
actually do
I thought I was
Wyvern's
way
Fire and
worse.
A little bit of a charged shot. What's he doing? Oh,
Charge shot. Charge shelling.
He's resting.
There's the Wyvern Fire.
there's another
Boom!
Wyvern's Fire. I think I made him
Shit.
mad.
Do you want to try a flash bomb, or do you just want to go for another trap?
Isn't the
What
Giginox
traps do we have?
blind?
Did you bring
I brought.
pitfalls?
A
I actually don't
pitfall and a
remember.
Shot, so I have a pitfall left.
I mean, Kezu is blind. I know about Giginox.
Pitfalls will be much more effective against the Baroth. So
I
if
don't
we
think
want
we
to
should trap him again because we still haven't seen what the Baroth can do, and we've seen what he can do. So
Okay.
I think we can handle him, and we still don't know what we got waiting for us on the Baroth. So I'll try
I don't think he's
flashing.
gonna.
Yeah, this is what melee
Look at him
hunters. What?
Look at him cooking. Did you see him cook?
No, I didn't notice it.
Oh, dude, Cha-Cha and
Yeah, this is
Kayamba.
what
Oh
melee
my
hunters have to
god.
deal with when you have
Dude, Cha-Cha and Kayamba were
Get
the
it
best
off, but it
companions.
does
Say,
take
very
quite a
resistant?
few attempts. Huh?
Oh, the
They are
slime
very
effect,
resistant.
too.
Baroth is very resistant to poison,
Okay.
I believe. Yeah. All the tanky monsters are. All the ones with a lot of defense.
Dude, this is
Yeah. So you
so old
shattered off
school.
most of the snow on his body when you shot him. With
Yeah,
the,
because Blast used to be friggin' awesome.
Yeah.
Slime, even.
I
there we
guess
go.
that maybe is he extra weak to fire or something?
Like I'm dealing fire damage, I'm dealing.
Or do something. Arrows?
Now, one of the funny things that happened in this video is we killed a Baroth, but Hengist
This guy, so
What are you
it's
trying
carded at the same time.
not
We
a very
can't.
Like, where was
benign
it?
to die because this seems like And then from 1, go to 8. Actually, that's the only way.
He's lost. Like, look at it.
Columbus. Sleeping?
Yeah, he's sleeping.
I'm not sure.
Well,
So I'm gonna check this guy at 5.
Hengis got lost in this map. This was the funniest thing, dude. He was just lost.
okay. Screw him. We don't need Lagomba.
I'm not even gonna waste the paint marking him.
Yep.
Unless you want to kill him. You want to kill him?
No. Let's go for. We need to go to 9.
That's a Lagombi plus, man. You might have freezer sacks. I need freezer sacks.
Freezer sacks are from the friggin' what's his name? The Barry.
The berry off.
Yeah.
But the Lagombi might have them as well.
Highly doubt that. Highly doubt that. Holy crap! This is one messed up path. I think I'm not even sure I've ever been to 9. Messed up his face.
Like, look, Hengist is lost
shit,
in the
he's
screen
hurt.
down here.
I wanted to actually stick the gun lance in his mouth, and then just bomb him, but he heard me.
Look at how lost he is. He's trying to figure out where
I'm
he's...
so lost.
Dude, come on, man. Use your guidance.
He
system.
can't-
Come on, GPS.
He
I don't
can't
have any
find it,
guidance.
dude.
Didn't you bring your map?
I'm
Cha-cha,
the worst
kick me.
navigator in the world, dude.
Cha-cha,
Not
kick me.
Columbus.
Cha-cha, thank you.
I'm over here fighting Jade Baroth, and he's just, like, lost.
His tail.
Trying to look at him, keeps changing
Oh,
maps.
shit. So lost.
Okay, you want to go to 1.
So I'm
and from
fighting...
1, go to 8. Actually, that's the only way to come here. You need to come
I'm
from 1.
fighting Jade Baroth, and I'm giving him directions to the map to get to me, dude.
Dude, this map is so fucking confusing.
You got this.
I don't even... Oh, no.
Then I killed it.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
And
no.
he's over there with Lagombi. Oh my god.
Shit!
Look at how mad he is.
Sorry. There's nothing I could do.
And he's going the wrong way. He's going the wrong way.
There.
That's the best part. He's still going the wrong way, dude.
I want to meet the person who designed this fucking map so I could
Yeah,
smack him
I want
across
to
the
meet them
mouth.
too, because they're probably nice individuals.
Still lost.
So, you know, be cool. What do I need to, oh, damn it, I'm gonna need
This is so good.
Oh, well.
God,
Oh my god.
You're so lost.
I can't do it!
He's still going over there in 6.
Look at how stupid this map design, dude. It's like a hedge maze, except worse.
Oh my god, this is hilarious. So this thing is starting any minute now. Let me see. Is it still just a countdown? Yeah, it's still just a countdown. I wanted to show you guys this too. This was like my solo Alatreon run. This took me 13 hours to record. 13 hours. It was like, didn't take me 13 hours to beat him. It took me 13 hours to get the hunt footage for a hunt that I was happy with. I love this hunt. This hunt was so good. A lot of people are giga salty. In case you guys are wondering, why 3 slaps? Why no wall bang? Because I want him enraged for Agitator. Look at these dodges, bro! I was on point! In case you guys are wondering why no shells, this is Slap Lance, baby. Which was the best way, in my opinion, to do Alatreon with Slap Lance. This is so good, dude. You didn't like it at first, though? Didn't I? I don't remember it. Because I remember liking it by the time I warmed up to it. Dude, 13 hours I spent doing this. Anyway, the thing's about to start. It's funny that, like, it took me 13 hours, and over the course of 3 years, this video got 30,000 views. From a monetary standpoint, that's a terrible investment. From a from a satisfaction standpoint, I'd do it all over again. I would do it all over again. No blindfold run. I don't play games blindfolded, dude. I'm 42 years old. I ain't got nothing to prove. I've had stuff to prove when I was younger. Now, I just want to play the games. I got nothing to prove. I've done all my challenge runs. I'm happy. A lot of people feel like they got something to prove. I ain't got nothing to prove. I just want to have fun, and I want more people to have fun with me. That's my motivation. Are you a physician, though? Yes. Yes, I am. I know that reference. All right.
Hello, everyone, and
hey, it's Joe and Jono
for the Monster Hunter 20th Anniversary Special Program. My name is Joe. I'm one of the community managers here at Capcom USA, and I'm joined by...
Hey everyone, I'm Jono. I'm the EMEA Community Manager at Monster Hunter.
By the way,
Jono, what are we doing today? Why are we in suits?
Well, that's a very good question, because normally, for anyone that tunes into our community streams, we're normally just rocking a t-shirt or a hoodie. But today is a very, very special occasion because we are marking...
By the way,
20
Jono
years, 2
is a
decades
fucking
of Monster
giant.
Hunter. I'm really excited.
Yeah, so am I. And
in case you
today we're
guys are
gonna be
wondering.
going over the results of the Hunter's Choice Top Monster Poll.
If my boy Basil is not in there,
voted for is,
I'm
and
burning this
honestly,
to the
super excited
ground.
to reveal the results to everybody. But before we get into that,
Could you
why
up
don't
the
we talk
volume?
about,
Yeah.
You know,
Didn't
the
I?
overall show and what we're doing today. So today is really just a chance to celebrate the 20th anniversary.
Is this better?
We won't have any crazy news or any reveals. You won't see any new gameplay or trailers for Monster Hunter Wilds, but we know we do have some cool stuff and cool insights from the dev team and from different community members of the Monster Hunter community.
Exactly. This is really special. And, you know, even looking at like our own journeys into the series all those years ago as players before we joined Capcom, the community were at the heart of Monster Hunter, whether it was the creator community or the passionate community themselves, building wikis, sharing tips on old forums and all of that before like...
No, they already said they're not doing
the internet as a whole and
Wilds
social media.
today.
So it's really special to be able to celebrate that
It's
with
just
everyone.
a birthday stream.
Yeah, and you know, before we get into it, why don't we talk about the, you know, the 20, or I guess 20 through 11, the monsters that we've revealed so far in the Hunter's Choice Top Monster results. So I know you've got a lot of favorites in there. Jono, do you want to kick it off with, I think, what is your personal favorite monster?
Yeah, so coming in at 17, so much respect to the community here for your fantastic taste. We have my favorite. They're big, they're blue, they're Brachydios. Obviously introduced in
I like
Monster
Brachy.
Hunter 3 Ultimate
Brachy is
here
awesome.
in the West. If you like slime weapons, or as they're now known as Blast, this is the monster for you. I just love how it looks. I love that it's big and blue. I love the explosions. I love the music. Everything about Brachy just screams cool to me. And I loved as well, obviously playing Monster Hunter Stories and Stories 2, that you could have Brachy as a monster and fight alongside them rather than against them all the time.
Yeah, I love the like,
Stories
the big
2
old
is
arms
awesome.
that it walks with and like kind of just like slams around and you kind of get caught in that blast radius, which is not a good feeling, but it is, you know, it is a really, really cool monster. And obviously it has a super awesome theme song, which is really intense and I love to listen to every now and then. So yeah.
Oh yeah, especially the Raging Brachy version. And that's the thing, when I was voting, I was like, do I go for Raging Brachy or like the original Brachy? But it's kind of like chicken and egg situation. There wouldn't be Raging Brachy without base
No.
Brachydios. So that's where my vote
Seething
went as well.
Basil is the way to go.
That's a great point. Great point.
Is Stories that
Well,
good?
for me,
Stories is amazing.
Within this top
Stories
20
too,
through
that is.
11, I'm a huge fan of Namiel.
Stories is also good.
Who came in at number 18 was a new monster that came.
Namiel is an
into the series
amazing
with
monster. I
Iceborne.
loved it.
So a fairly new monster. I'm sure a lot of people who play the game are pretty familiar with it, but you know, it's got this like really almost like it's like a, you know, like a manta ray or like a, I don't know, just like this marine like kind of theme to it, right? Like the way it like has like all the sound effects and like the different like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, right? Like it's definitely got a unique feel that I think a lot of monsters don't really have in the series.
Yeah, you can definitely feel like it's come from the abyss, and even the sounds it makes are so aquatic, and obviously a dual element monster as well, combining water with thunder. makes it very, very dangerous when you're fighting it as well. And the armor as well looks so sleek and organic. Yeah, it was really unlike kind of anything else you'd have fought up to that point.
Yeah, if you were to like imagine a deep sea creature that has like lived.
This
for
is
thousands of
pre-recorded,
years,
but I am live.
you know, that would be one. It's like learn to live like in the darkness or something like that. Yeah, a super cool monster.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so coming in at number 16 is another favorite of mine, Safi Jiva. This was a super cool raid monster, siege monster actually, that you could fight in Iceborne. And you know, I think like what I loved the most about this was like the community building of just like getting everybody together and just trying to like pick apart the different mechanics. I think, you know,
I ran
we weren't here
so
at
many
Capcom when it was
Safi
first
lobbies,
revealed,
dude.
so we got to experience it as fans. But
So many Safi lobbies.
you know, just like the way it was revealed to the world and like how everyone kind of like, you know, just had to band together and just figure out how to take it out was quite the experience.
It was.
Yeah, and also like seeing what a fully formed adult version of Xenojiva was like was really cool to kind of see how the monster
music.
kind of continued and kind of how they linked it together. And also everyone plays a very specific role if they want to within the fight. Like obviously I'm a sword and shield main, so I'd be trying to go for the tail or like go for like trips on the legs and things. But then obviously insect glaive, gunners,
Dude, I'm not
bow
joking.
users, we always
This
go for those
music
wing breaks. And if
almost
they went in
makes
the
me
party, I
emotional,
found it
dude.
so hard to get wing breaks. So if an insect glaive came in or a ranged hunter, I was like, yes, more part breaks. Yeah, it's such an epic multi-stage fight. And I remember how many times I missed trying to knock terrain onto it as well with my slinger.
Yeah, that was something you kind of had to like discover for yourself, right? Of just like you continue to do the fight, you see what other people are doing, and you know that's one of those things that they kind of hint to you, but it's not necessarily just like, hey, you should do this exact thing to knock over like the stalactites and the different terrain and all that. So
It was
definitely
awesome,
such a cool fight to discover and to
Like,
learn.
listen, Monster
And then
Hunter
obviously
World and
Safi's
Iceborne
ultimate
were
move,
magical
is
moments.
really quite a sight to behold and experience.
Magical moments.
They better find somewhere to hide.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, I always found myself just slightly getting caught outside of like the protection zone of that like rock that's blocking for you, which I think is a lesson that you learn right away of like you make sure you're totally in a safe zone. Don't get caught outside of it.
Exactly. And talking of obviously, you know, these big attacks and kind of monsters coming in and really changing the game, the next monster, which is one of my favorites, and it came in at number 13, which is a fantastic achievement for a monster which I think is actually the most recently added new monster to the whole franchise. Correct me if I'm wrong.
What was
And
number
that is
13?
Primordial Malzeno, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
kind
It
of
was
like
an awesome
crowning
fight.
off Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak.
It was an awesome fight.
Story, kind of putting it to bed as the sun sets in a really, really satisfying way.
Really just shows you that a majority of people really enjoyed Rise and Sunbreak.
Pre-Curio version.
Despite some of the discourse that we hear, a majority of the community loved those two games. 100%, and they were amazing.
It looks like a knight in shining armor. It fights almost like a lance.
Despite some of this rivalry that we see in the community, people love those games.
And no spoilers, but I really love how the story version of the hunt goes and how the climax unfolds and what happens. It was a really surprising twist and a great way to kind of wrap up the themes of Sunbreak.
Yeah, you said it all, Jono. I mean, you didn't think that Malzeno could get more, I guess, regal and menacing.
Yeah.
And somehow they topped it, right, with Primordial Malzeno. And it's such a great fight. And yeah, obviously, we don't want to give any spoilers for anybody who hasn't played it yet, but the way the fight plays out with the, you know, the culmination of the Sunbreak story and the way it ends is just awesome. So yeah, definitely a great way to cap off the adventure with Sunbreak.
And obviously the armor and weapons look really, really cool as well. I'm a sucker for my fashion. You know that.
Well, with that said, you know, we don't have the time to cover all of the 20 through 11. You will see them recapped again at the start of the show, but yeah, a lot of great monsters that were included in that list, and we can't wait to reveal those final results. So
exactly. 229 monsters. We got 10 to 1 to go. It's any Monsters game, well, except the ones we've mentioned already. But it's any other Monsters game right now. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what the community voted for. And I guess we'll be discovering that together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Jono, it's been 20 years of Monster Hunter. obviously,
Yeah.
you know, we've all started the series in different time frames and had different experiences with it. Any thoughts, just like reflecting on you know your journey with the series so far?
Yeah, I mean, my first ever Monster Hunter title was 3 Ultimate, and quite soon after I then jumped onto 4U as well. And it's been awesome. The first ever weapon I used ever in Monster Hunter was actually Switch Axe. However, I was a really big noob. I couldn't quite get used to being slow having this big weapon, so I quite quickly swapped to Sword and Shield. And ever
Sword
since then,
and
it's been
Shield,
my main
baby!
squeeze, my main weapon.
Sword and Shield's really
I
good.
love the versatility, I love the variety, and I love how good it is with
But
element
gun
and
lance.
status kind of sets. How about you, Joe?
Yeah, you know, I also started around the same time. But I would say, like, you know, initially I kind of bounced off the game a little bit because, you know,
We all
I
did.
don't think like I was
I feel like a lot of us
wired
did.
that way necessarily just yet to really like wrap my head around all the mechanics and the way the game worked. But, you know, I think it's a testament to the community who have created, you know, so many different guides and videos and just different ways to get into this series that have really, you know, that helped educate me and helped bring me up to the kind of the skill level that I felt like I was experiencing. Like, you know, the experience of a lot of other community members where, you know, I discovered this thing, I learned about it, and I got better at it, and then I became an advocate for it. So, you know, I think that's really the journey of Monster Hunter, especially, you know, I think in our regions in North America and Europe, to be able to, like, have that journey of, like, we got to experience the discovery of something that we really love, and now we get to share it with everybody. So it's been really, really exciting in that way.
Exactly, and you know, we touched on the creators. You know, I really got into Monster Hunter thanks to the creators kind of taking the time to share their passion for this series and want
Gaijin
to grow
Hunter.
and share it rather than gatekeeping.
100%.
And once again, you know, that's why the community and the creators are the heart of Monster Hunter, and it's great to kind of see that continue as more and more people came to Monster Hunter over the years. Obviously, you know, you go through like generations, and then obviously you then had Monster Hunter World Show, and you know, what kind of impact did that have?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, just, you know, taking the franchise, you know, completely global and having the simultaneous worldwide release with World, and you know, we've just really been continuing the momentum since
It was
then. And,
absolutely massive.
Obviously, I think the future is very bright with Monster Hunter Wilds, and you know, we've got Monster Hunter Stories that's also coming out this summer. So yeah, it's just a really good time to be a Monster Hunter fan right now.
It is, you know, and like with our recent like return to World Community Celebration, seeing not only, you know, veteran hunters and content creators come back, but loads of new players come in to play Monster Hunter World, whether they were excited from the Monster Hunter Wilds reveal, or they were like, hey, a lot of people are talking about this game, you know, I'm going to check it out, like jump in. It's been awesome. And obviously, you know, the most recent release, Monster Hunter Rise and Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, I love the combat in that. It's so fluid, and your weapons get so many moves, and you can customize how your individual weapon behaves. So if you had, say, there was like 2 longsword users in a hunt, they could have totally different playstyles and moves.
If there's 2 longsword users in a
really,
hunt,
really
it's a
fun,
bad time.
and a really cool twist on the combat that I'd got used to from World and Iceborne. So yeah, it's just such a great time. No matter what kind of hunter you are, you can enjoy all the different Monster Hunter games, you can have your favorite, and I think that's such a good thing to be able to celebrate and talk about.
Yeah, different types of Monster Hunter games, different genres, which is awesome. So it's, yeah, like we said, it's just a really great time to be part of the franchise. And I think with that, we're going to wrap up our pre-show. We're going to have a pretty fun program ahead of us. So, you know, after the results of the Hunter's Choice Top Monster, we hope you stick around and check out everything we've got. But yeah, with that said, we want to say thank you so much to the Monster Hunter community. Your support means the world to us. Jono, any parting words before we go?
Yeah, it's been an incredible 20 years, no matter when
They
you
have to
joined
say
us as
happy
a Monster
hunting.
Hunter fan.
Come on now.
Thank you so much. It's awesome to have you with us. And here's to the next 20 years and 2025 when things are going to be getting wild.
All right, well, before
Things
we
are gonna
head
be
into the
getting
main show,
wild.
we'll want to sign off with our usual Monster Hunter chant.
There it is.
Happy hunting!
I think that there was probably some problems with Joe Bustus's voice recording because they had to do a lot of audio adjusting to it. Here we go. Let's see that top 20, baby. Let's see that top 20. dude. Proof of a hero still hits just as hard. Dude, I remember the first time I saw Loggy. Look at that Atalka weapon. Okay, this is stuff we've seen. Are we getting a new trailer? Ah, the tease! The tease! Okay, let's see that top 20. Here it comes. Who will claim the top spot? Alatreon, number 10! Nice! That'll show all those Steam review babies. That's what you get! Number 10 right there with a bullet. Number 9. Nergigante. Oh, Ruiner Nergigante even. Fatalis? Fatalis is number 8. There's 2 Fatalis on the list because we had, white Fatalis. Was it a white Fatalis? Yeah, I think it was white Fatalis previously on the list. This was an amazing fight, dude. Number 7. Narga! Bro. Bangers. Straight bangers. Narga Velkhana? At number 6? I'm surprised. Velkhana is really high on the list. I wouldn't have expected that. Gormagala, baby! Gormagala straight up well above Shigaru. Number 5. That's really good for Gore. Bro, Basil's got to be up there, right? Right? Steve? Oh no, it's Volstrax. Never mind. I got that confused. Volstrax. Volstrax is also one of my favorites. I love Volstrax. So I'm very happy. Volstrax is awesome. Number 3. Loggy! Loggy is number 3, dude! What? Oh my god! Number 3! Holy shit! Woo! Dude, Loggy is awesome. I love Loggy. God damn. I was just saying earlier, I remember the first time I saw Loggy. The opening sequence where you first see Loggy is fucking brilliant. Bro, people have loved Loggies for so long. All right, number 2. Who's number 2? Wait, no way. Nergy? Nergy takes 2 spots on the list. Nergy takes 2 spots on the list. Holy shit. God damn. Okay, well, Basil's number 1. 100%, right? Right? Basil has to be number 1. Come on, bro. How's Basil not number 1? I can't believe it. God damn. Number 1 monster. It's Kezu. Here he comes. Rajang? No. No, they're just doing like a... Zinogre! Of course. The Fulgur bugs, you idiot! Zinogre, number 1. There he is. God damn, I didn't expect that. I mean, I know he's a big fan favorite, but I was actually... Is Rathalos even on the list? Rathalos didn't even make it onto the list. But yeah, Zin is a beast. Zinogre also takes 2 spots on the list, because Stygian Zinogre is also on the list. There it is. Lagi, Nergigante, and Zinogre. I am very disappointed that Basil didn't even make it on the list. I have been let down,
Zinogre,
led astray.
And Lagiacrus, the top 3 monsters.
No, it was an awesome
by
list.
The community from 20 years of Monster Hunter. That's pretty awesome, hey Joe.
Yeah, thanks to everybody for casting your votes. But it sounds like we're not quite done yet, right?
You are right, because there is another Hunter's Choice on the horizon. Coming
Oh.
soon, you, the community, will be tasked to vote for the best
Weapon.
monster theme
Oh,
music.
Monster Hunter theme music,
Yeah, there's
okay.
been so many incredible songs throughout the Monster Hunter series. So many iconic themes. So we can't wait to see what you vote on.
Okay, so this should be the podcast segment. Oh. No, it's the director interview. Let's start with how the first Monster Hunter was born. We wanted to make a network game. We were heading in the direction of making online games that consumers could play on their home consoles. We were working on 3 titles at the same time. A racing game called Automodelista, an online Resident Evil title called Resident Evil Outbreak, and the 3rd title being Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter would be one of Capcom's strong action games. But as an online game, you were our first director. Yes, that's right. And I was involved as a network planner at the time. It's Monster Hunter, so first we need monsters. Actually, the first monster we ever created was Rathian. Ah, yeah, Rathian. Right. It was the first monster we had concept for. The designer came up with a poisonous green dragon. Look at some of that early art. And we thought it couldn't be anything more or less. That's how Rathian was put on our first logo, right? Many people think it's actually Rathalos, though. It's true. There was another concept. Before we went with that one, we had planned to make a fantasy game that actually had designed normal dragons. It was a more traditional style game that had mages and everything. While it was more traditional, it was a bit... We had to think about what our original idea was. We didn't want just the typical mages and dragons. We wanted to make creatures that were more original, more unique to us. And that's how we got Rathian's design. The feline designs, they were completely different in the beginning, right? Completely different. Our original design was actually something similar to the shakalaka. Dude! Shakalakas! Yeah, rough, muscular looking thing. Holy crap. It was scary. It was a small thing, but I'm glad we changed it. You say small, but it was a really good change. A buff thing like that? Scary little guy as your partner, right? It's the mascot after all. That's not the mascot. There are now 14 different weapons in the game, but we started with 6. 6. At first we thought, since we're fighting huge monsters, the hunters, the player's weapon, should also be just as huge. So we started from the 2 naturally strong. Great sword and heavy bowgun. Oh, these were the 2 first developed weapons. Right, the great sword is the original weapon. And from there we added the hammer and lance. But then we only had heavy weapons and it was like, wait, shouldn't we have some light weapons? We definitely need some lighter weapons. Otherwise just be people whacking and hacking things up. So then we added sword and shield and light bowgun. With those, we had a full lineup of unique weapons. We decided to start with those 6 and build them up from there. Because each weapon is handled differently, their quirks were almost too strong, especially because players weren't using buttons right, attacking with the right joystick. Dude, that's a nightmare. When we attended Tokyo Game Show, a bunch of players would come out to try the game. They would immediately start pushing the buttons. So we'd have to tell them, oh, it doesn't use the buttons. It uses this joystick. So we first had to change it from there. This is true for current Monster Hunter players too, but since the beginning there's been a focus on helping each other out and sharing information with others. True! Big true! I don't think that we had this term at the time, but people could really form a community around it. Helping each other out came about naturally. There used to be these huge chats where you had around 100 people all messaging at once. Someone would post, I'm fighting Lao Shan Long, and the chat log would fill up immediately. People would just flock to the chat, asking how to defeat Lao Shan Long. Yeah, like, I don't know what to do, or please help me. It knocked me down with its tail and killed me. Ark, thank you very much for the souls. Tip of the hat. Appreciate the support. Elder Dragons entered the spotlight in Monster Hunter 2. Basically became the model for the current games. The concept of a world with large monsters is the backbone of Monster Hunter. Def, something one class above that as a fantasy based again, but we brought it in the concept of Elder Dragons. After finding them, it felt like we had no choice but to add them in. But establishing that hierarchy in terms of design and world building for the Monster Hunter universe was a great choice. I'm glad we made that decision back then. It really is a unique feature, especially at the time of Monster Hunter. Rajang was also like that, right? Yep, that's right. Coming up with a monster that will just suddenly appear and destroy everything was an amazing idea. Rajang's been a huge success. Do you remember the PvP fights in Monster Hunter 2? PvP fights? There was PvP? That was the thing. You would capture a monster and make it your partner and enter a tournament with it. Yeah, they would fight each other. What? You could compete against other hunters. You could capture Rajang. If you could capture it, well, Rajang was really the only choice because of how strong it was. You could feed the monsters to make them stronger. To strengthen Rajang, you had to feed it Kirin horns. Right. It became a part of Rajang. Thanks to that setup in Monster Hunter 2, it is now a part of Rajang's lore. These things really from there, but yeah, that's where it started eating Kirin horns. It was even in a cutscene recently. Yeah, it was. That's awesome. Sure, everyone's curious how it came about. As for me, the timing was good. Just after Resident Evil Outbreak finished up, the producer at the time came to me. This was when the PSP was new. And the producer asked if I could develop something for that system. There's a connection with Monster Hunter 2. Actually, Yan Garuga was from that game, right? Yan Garuga. We wanted a monster that could come and go between titles, and that's how Yan Garuga was born. We needed something that would connect the worlds between Monster Hunter 2 and Monster Hunter Freedom. Trying to come up with a new monster like that was actually quite the challenge for us. And this is where the ever-popular Tigrex was born. I mean, Tigrex. Sorry. At first we were talking about what the new main monster was going to be. There was a crazy amount of material for the setting of the original Monster Hunter. In that, there was a monster called Wyvern Rex, created with the idea that it was a monster from the past. We thought that we could maybe use popular ancient creatures like dinosaurs and the T-Rex, and combine it with wyverns to try and make it something powerful. Speaking of, Anteka completely annihilated me. I was called in by you to do a playtest, right? Against the stupidly powerful Anteka. I then proceeded to get completely destroyed. It would follow you anywhere you went. So in the end, I just shot arrows at it from the top of a hill. An Anteka! Seeing that, we thought, oh, maybe we should tune it down a bit. Would have been pretty rough, Anteka say like that. Yeah, it wouldn't have worked out. Thanks for your help. Monster Hunter Freedom Unite had the shortest development period of all Monster Hunter titles. Really? Usually you start with a concept proposal, right? Proposal version 1.0 was given on April 25th, 2007. Then the actual development started just a bit after that. That's right. So the actual creation of the game, it was under a year? It was essentially less than 10 months. Jesus! Sounds about right. Nargacuga also took no time to make, and is currently one of the fan favorites. We couldn't even test it. What? It's basically, let's make a fast T-Rex. Speedy Rex. Holy crap, dude. Not an anti-hero, but a monster that was off the beaten path. It looked cool. We ended up with Nargacuga. In the opening movie for Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, we didn't have the finished model for Nargacuga yet. So we just showed its silhouette to try and work around it. Stuck glowing eyes, that's it, that's it. We gotta get them hyped. Oh my god, dude. They had nothing. There's also a new feature with the palicos, whether it would be possible to control them. We did it, this would be so good. This might just be a great idea. Next project you directed was Monster Hunter Portable 3rd. This was when Zenogre, who placed first in our 20th anniversary popularity poll, this is when it was introduced. Zenogre took so long to develop. So much time. I think it was my most difficult project to date, honestly. Yeah, it shows. How many months did it take? Jeez. I was working on it from the proposal until we finished it 2 years later. 2 years to develop one monster. We couldn't decide what to do with the gameplay. I mean, not one monster, but like the game probably, I would imagine. From there you would hit it, the axis of play, also the Thunderbug cycle. There was a lot we considered when making it. Its design also changed a lot. It was walking on 2 legs in the beginning. There were stories like that from the early days. First time the Japanese theme entered the series was when we added hot springs. The world of Monster Hunter is built around cooking, you know, the hunter's lifestyle. We were talking to the planning team about adding something to evoke more of that lifestyle aspect. Yeah, it really does. The ideas we came up with were bathing and doing laundry. Baths are nice and relaxing. Hot springs, from a Japanese standpoint, are somewhere you go to feel refreshed. So when we decided we wanted to add that motif, everyone was like, okay, well, it has to be baths, has to be hot springs. We ended up using it as a replacement for the food mechanics. Oh, interesting. I never played Portable Third, by the way. The underwater hunts was the first stage of the first Monster Hunter was the forest and hills. You exit the camp, and there'd be an Aptonoth. The Aptonoth would cross the river and run away, but the player couldn't go in the water. Had a lot of requests like, let me go in too already. You wanted to consider those requests and take on a new challenge. Though it would be great if we could achieve a 3D space surrounding the monsters. Since it's underwater, we thought we could tie that together with the main monster. Lagiacrus. But only for as long as it was interesting and fun. We went in ready to abandon it, right, and at worst just throw the idea away altogether. Damn. But people formed something of a Team Lagiacrus, saying they would definitely make it entertaining. We were thinking of more pragmatic solutions, but everyone was incredibly enthusiastic. They said it'd be way more fun if it was seamless, and they wanted to try and bring it into reality. In the end, the game design allowed for 360-degree involvement, but it was accessible and played like a Monster Hunter game. It was really fun, so we decided to just go for it. Properly implement Monster Hunter water battles. Next, we make Monster Hunter Tri. We're actually making Monster Hunter 4 after that. I mean, I'm assuming he's mean 3 Ultimate there, but it was taking more time than we thought. So we wanted something to release in the meantime. That's how talks about porting Monster Hunter 3 started. But just porting it wasn't really good enough. At the very least, since we had underwater battles, we wanted to add Plesioth. And as we're working, G-Rank got added, and then a bunch of more monsters. Oh yeah, this was the one that got out of control. Got to the point of, hold on. We even added a whole new town. We realized maybe this isn't the port anymore. About 1 month before we announced the game, we had a discussion about adding a G Ultimate. They wanted to slap a G on it so that it became Monster Hunter 3G. We wanted to try and make a topographical map and add in jumping attacks. Terrain with varied elevations. We were really pleased with the different elevations achieved by the underwater battles in Monster Hunter 3, and didn't see why we couldn't bring that to the land too. The action game standards at the time were starting to have level designs with those elevation differences. So in order for Monster Hunter to keep up, we figured we had no choice but to add it to our games. But adding different elevations in Monster Hunter 4 was big. We had a lot of things about the locales that we had to consider, like how to approach it from top to bottom and bottom to top. How the monster will interact with it, and how the player would interact with it was a big part too. I'm glad we were able to pull it off. Starting from Monster Hunter 4, an element of drama was added to the game. Monster Hunter 4, we wanted to make all the components easier to understand. We wanted something that was catchy. And adventure is a theme that has this sense of freedom. Adventure is really easy to understand, and with it, we could write a story that progresses from one location to another. To me, this is still the best Monster Hunter story. Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate was great. To do that, we obviously need characters and a properly written story to achieve that progression. It was fantastic, dude. I loved it. So we focused on that the most for Monster Hunter 4. It friggin' shows. This is also when we completed our set of 14 weapons. We added the Insect Glaive and Charge Blade. Gameplay was highly focused on jumping, so we thought it'd be cool to have weapons unique to that feature. Concept art for the original Monster Hunter, there were some images of Falconeer handling a hawk. We added a twist to that and made the insect glaive that lets you handle insects called kinsects. Then with the charge blade, we wanted an easy-to-understand weapon that we could pair with the Switch Axe. An easy-to-understand weapon! We wanted logical weapons, so we focused on combining and transforming things. Gormagala in the recent general poll was really popular. Yeah, because Gormagala was awesome. Yeah, it really is popular there. Gormagala particularly has this dark hero theme. I'm glad the people abroad took it so well. Me too. I think it was around that time that Monster Hunter 4G was announced, that we started seeing a foreign Monster Hunter community. And we did a lot for Monster Hunter 4G too. We were able to join a lot of different smaller events that allowed us to build this big community and gave us places to communicate with players. Since then, the foreign Monster Hunter community has really grown tremendously. True. Big true. Oh, it's Generations and Generations Ultimate. We were working on a completely different title, but then you and I took it over. Guys, I need to really go to the bathroom real quick, though. I'll continue reading in just a second, okay? Give me just a couple of minutes.
合流してで、りょうさんからもう提示してもらったのがお祭り感ね。で一言お祭り感以上。うちはスタッフ全員おおってなってそこから鍵技やスタイルとか4大モンスターがお祭り感から生まれた。よくできましたね。
みんなよくそんなねキーワードでここまでね広げてくれたわっていうぐらいけど、言わなあかんところで言うとやっぱり仮技とスタイル、はい、3DS できる、タイトルとまあそれも何タイトルか出てきてるんでやっぱりちょっと、ゲーム的にも何かちょっとアクションの部分で新しさとかがないと、やっぱマンネリがちょっとし始めるかなっていうので既存の武器のところに何かちょっとシステムを加えることで遊びを広げられないかなっていうのでちょっとこういったシステムをちょっと入れることになりましたね。お祭り感とこのキーワードのところから懐かしかった頃に戻れるみたいなそういったものにしたかったので過去にあった村とかそういったものを持ってきたりとか4つの拠点かでその4つの拠点にそれぞれ4つのモンスターを置いてって感じでキーワードを4っていうものにしたんでスタイルの数も4だったりとかそんな感じでちょっとまとめていったって感じにはなりますね。4大メインモンスターの中でまあ個人的にはその後結構厄介なのがガムート。
なんですか。
でかい。
でかいのが厄介なの。
いや結構ほらあっこに出そうとかってなった時に。
そういうことそういうこと。
あいつどでかいから。
でも当時はでかい
ガモス
が出したかったんですよね。どうしても。でも全然ガモス。
If we fix Gamoth a bit, we can do it.
出せるんじゃないですか。
Yeah, maybe, but there's Gamoth baby. One that's a little smaller or something. Along with the festival theme came the Prowlers. Dude, Prowlers were awesome. We thought we should do something with the Palicos as well. Since it's a festival, we thought it'd be fun to let the players control the Palicos. At first, we weren't sure how the gameplay would work, but the players really liked it. Yeah, it was fun. When are the Prowlers coming back? After Generations went on sale, the next title idea was Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Right, Ichihabara worked as director. Mr. Hiroka, who was the director on Exoprimal, was the main planner. Made sense to add the hunter arts and hunting styles into the game. But we only added 2 more styles. Alchemy was a lot of fun. I loved Alchemy. So many adjustments along with the addition of G-Rank and everything else we had to add. Also looked at how the new arts would work with the ones from Generations. So adding even just 2 styles was a lot of work. But the team was really committed until the end. In terms of new monsters, this is when the extremely popular Valstrax came about. Valstrax is a bit of an odd monster, right? Yeah, he's a jet monster. How did it come into existence? The original design was kind of based off of an orca. What? But then it became a monster that could fly. So it turned into the current design. Then we had the deviant monsters. They were treated like main monsters, right? Deviant monsters were amazing. The ticket system was annoying. This is where Bloodbath Diablos was added. It was unbelievable power, right? Yeah, super strong and fast. There were many modes you could change between. And the battle style would actually change the further you got. For a game, it really got your hands sweating. Diablos has been around since the original Monster Hunter. But I think this game is where it really entered its spotlight. I think so too. We also gave it more distinctive coloring, which made it a lot more memorable. Even among the deviant monsters. (2018-2019) director interview. We are joined by the director of Monster Hunter World, Yuyu Tokuda, to talk about World and Monster Hunter World Iceborne. We really wanted to focus on making World more global. This is my favorite game of all time, by the way. The idea came from Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, right? A lot of people from overseas played Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. Gave us their feedback and opinions. They were quite direct in their opinions, which was a bit shocking. It seems there were a few things we could work on. Wouldn't say it was all bad, but Tokuda went through a lot of pretty brutal comments. Jesus. But it really reinvigorated us. By the way, guys, stay all the way to the end of the stream, because I want to do something, and I need you guys to be here, okay? We had a lot of things we needed to tackle. We stopped numbering the games at this point. The development team talked about how it would be better to put the theme in the title. We just used the development name. Right, the codename for the project was World. They seemed to really be taken with it. Should we just go with it? And we were like, you're kidding, right? We went with it because they said, let's make it a world standard. Regarding using the environment and monsters, I'm sure there were a lot of ideas. But was there a particularly difficult one? Turf Wars, for example. Damn. We thought it'd be interesting to be able to lure a monster to another one. But while we had the idea of Turf Wars, when actually trying to add it to the game, it was hard to see the value in making monsters fighting each other. But the player also wouldn't be participating. The first time we tried to implement it, there was someone on the development team who liked hunts that focused on efficiency. That person spoke up basically saying, isn't this just more trouble than it's worth? I don't know if anyone would actually use it. And we decided to add damage numbers. Oh god, when a player attacks, they normally only deal double damage. But if you're able to instigate a turf war, damage would usually go over 1,000. To which the person cries, well, you'd be crazy not to use it. Complete 180. Yeah, there you go. This could really work. I find it interesting because I like them just for the theme of it. That's it. Damage numbers in World were a fantastic addition. No, I disagree. At least that's what I think. I don't like numbers, but I guess it did capitalize on a wider audience. We did a monster popularity poll, and Nergigante played second. What were you thinking about when you came up with Nergigante? First one is a story that included an ecosystem with elder dragons. We thought a lot about it, and suddenly thought destruction and rebirth. So I turned to Mr. Fujioka next to me and like, hey, what about destruction and rebirth? He was like, oh, that's good. If a monster has the ability to regenerate, it could attack without regard to themselves. We could incorporate that into the action. We could make a pretty resilient monster. That's why at the end of Monster Hunter World, I wanted to dive into that appealing aspect of the Ruiner Nergigante in a way that would feel very Nergigante, like it's still alive. I wanted to make that happen. In World, we had free updates with a lot of collaborations. But in Iceborne, we used existing monsters that were popular in other Monster Hunter titles. One of my regrets was all the formidable monsters in World were collabs. True. So in Iceborne, I wanted to put our own company's own, or rather that, an actual monster on a monster. That's why I decided to make Fatalis the strongest I could. Fatalis was a bit of trouble. Till the very end, we were wrestling with whether or not we could add it. Damn. We would have to add a whole stage and quickly write a story. We were able to go from Safi Jiva to Alatreon and then Fatalis. It was fucking impressive. They had a bit of foreshadowing that to lead up to Fatalis, drawing a line between them. It brought the story together, really brought it all together. People still continue to play. True. The world in Iceborne was really expanded, and in turn took the fascinating aspects of Monster Hunter and expanded the entire universe. We put out a video on the motion capture for Rajang. Yeah, that was awesome. The monsters used to all be manually animated. We figured it was time to bring motion capture to the monsters too. Mocap actor used a plastic water bottle as a prop to capture Kieran's horn. Gonna get snapped off. We talked about it earlier, but that was your idea, right? That's right. In Monster Hunter 2, in the PvP fights, you could make Rajang super strong by feeding it Kieran horns. So I got them to bring it back by saying things like, that's its rite of passage into adulthood. That's awesome. So with the Monster Hunter Rise, we thought we'd like to try and tackle that again. That's right. We wanted to try something different from World with Rise. We started talking about making a game that incorporated the cyclical playstyle used in mobile games. When we were thinking about ideas for the setting, we thought we'd reintroduce a Japanese theme to Monster Hunter and make a world that was Asian-inspired, which is what we ended up going with. The theme for Rise was unique and used a lot of Japanese yokai motifs, right? Can you tell us more about that? We were wondering if it would be possible to bring themes to each of the games. By taking a concrete theme like yokai, we could easily connect it to its past games, but have monsters that were unique and different. I think that's why we were able to go with the yokai theme. In terms of the system, we introduced wire bugs for the first time. We were thinking of adding new gameplay that would use the game's environment as a tool for play. So adding actions like scaling walls, using a wire or something. But since this is the Monster Hunter universe rather than just a normal grappling hook, we wanted to make it a living creature. This is how we ended up with wire bugs. In terms of companions, we introduced a non-feline buddy, the canines. Dog lovers always asked us if there ever be anything in for them. So we thought we could do Adam as companions, but if we would just make them bipedal like the felines, there wouldn't be much difference in their roles. So we decided to keep the canines on all fours, basically closer to the dog. So we made a companion that was a monster, but allied itself with and helped hunters. We are now joined by director Suzuki, who is going to talk about Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Thank you for having me. Thanks for joining. Can you tell us what made you change the theme after Rise? Rather than redoing the Japanese theme again, I thought I could bring in a Western theme. There are no yokai in the West, but there are plenty of monster-like things. So using those as motif for the designs, and then changing up the gameplay, we thought we could bring in some new characters to the world. So considering all of these aspects, I decided to write a proposal for the Western-style game. While we had plans to move forward with the Western theme and had a plan written up, the basis for the project was still that Japanese style. We had concept art and everything. There was a village that we thought up that would be based around exercising yokai and would give us a chance to incorporate the people from Kimura Village. While I was pretty fired up on the idea, it unfortunately never saw the light of day. You brought back a monster from Monster Hunter Frontier, Espinas. How did it come about? Right before we started production, it was announced that Monster Hunter Frontier would be ending its service. We wanted to give something to the players who enjoyed playing Monster Hunter Frontier. So that was one reason. We also thought that the Monster Hunter Frontier would be a bit of a breath of fresh air. It was. I liked it. Thinking from that standpoint, we decided to add a throwback monster. We had to find a monster that would fit into the recent Monster Hunter games, but also fit into the series as a whole. Who would fit the setting, but also the gameplay. And in the end, we decided to go with Espinas. Speaking of monsters, few were added to Sunbreak in some free title updates. The last update included Primordial Malzeno, right? That's right. Right before that, we had Amatsu, who served as a continuation and end for Rise. By adding Primordial Malzeno last, we were able to write an end to the story. And Sunbreak could go out with a bang. Ending it with Primordial Malzeno wrapped it up quite nicely. It had a proper cutscene as well. I think it was a wonderful conclusion to the storyline. Yeah, it was.
Next up is this. Oh, is that Street Fighter? It looks like it. There's some familiar faces there.
This is looking really cool. So it looks like a special collaboration between Street Fighter 6 and the Monster Hunter 20th anniversary is on the way. Super excited for this and I can't wait for it.
Same. I wonder how you can hunt a street though.
Looks like you could don Rathalos gear.
Oh. And there is the classic Monster
Oh,
Hunter
nice.
Yeah, that's a Wyvern Jawblade. Oh, and it looks like you can take it into your World Tour adventures. So a little bit of a clash between worlds right here.
Nice little pun there.
And you'll be able to show it off in avatar battles with other players.
It's just cosmetic,
awesome.
yeah.
Oh, and is that's a Rathalos photo spot.
That's a big-ass
And then the
Rathalos
skies
over there.
themselves.
Yeah.
And some little Palico buddies as well.
Yeah, the battle hub will be proper Monster Hunter themed, and that's looking pretty awesome for any hunters and Street Fighter fans. Well, this collab is dropping in April, so be sure to watch out for further details.
The Monster Hunter Now Celebration 2024 is happening right now in Monster Hunter Now. And as part of that, hunters can receive a special hunter medal, including the main logo of the Monster Hunter series 20th anniversary by completing special anniversary-themed quests. Now, hunters, get out there and join the hunt because these quests are available until Sunday, March 24th, 2024 at 11:59 p.m. in your local time.
The Hunter's Choice Top Monster was announced today, and Zinogre took the #1 spot. In celebration, the following events will be held in Monster Hunter Now. Zinogre's guaranteed appearance at Huntathon points was planned to end on Wednesday, March 13th, but it turns out it will be extended until Monday, March 25th at 11:59 p.m. local time.
But wait, there's even more. The second major update, the Vernal Invader, will go live on Thursday, March 14th, 2024. Now, prepare yourselves, hunters, and check out this recently released teaser.
The Vernal Invader. I'm not a fan of that music. Is that just me? The Vernal Invader. Okay.
This major update will mark the beginning of a new in-game season with even more new additions, including monsters such as Devil Joe, Odogaron, and Zitsuyaku.
Well, at least
as well as a new
seasons
weapon type,
are a Monster
the
Hunter Now
Shardblade.
thing. So hopefully they
What's
can
more,
stay there.
This new update will bring new features such as layered equipment and the Season Pass, great for you fashion hunters. The Season Pass will allow you to progress through tiers as you play, with different rewards such as Zenian materials available at every tier. There will even be certain layered equipment and other items that can only be acquired with the Season Pass.
In celebration of the anniversary, a layered t-shirt with the main logo of the Monster Hunter series 20th anniversary can be obtained at Tier 20 of the Season Pass. In Part 2 of the Monster Hunter Now Celebration 2024, you can look forward to event quests celebrating the 6-month anniversary, as well as various new rewards and perks.
I wasn't aware
And
that
if
you
you're a
could play it
Discord Premium
horizontally.
member, you have a campaign running from March 19th, and more details will be announced.
I thought
at a
you'd
later
have
date.
to play it vertically.
This is a great opportunity for members who've never played Monster Hunter Now to try it out, so we hope you check it out. We've got a cute version of the Monster Hunter series 20th anniversary logo, and it'll appear in Monster Hunter Now. Via a new event quest that will be introduced in late April, you'll be able to earn a layered t-shirt bearing this cute version of the Monster Hunter series 20th anniversary logo. More details will be announced at a later date.
Going forward, Monster Hunter Now will have a major update once per season. We're looking forward to bringing you more new content and improved gameplay in further updates. This summer, we're planning on adding more new monsters, including Monster Hunter Now's very first Leviathan, as well as a new weapon type and more story chapters to be unlocked. In September, Monster Hunter Now will
Guys,
celebrate
there's
its
nothing
first
wrong if people
anniversary.
like this
you can
game,
look forward
okay?
to a major
It's
update
fine.
around this time.
It's
We'll
not
continue
for
adding
everybody, but it is
monsters,
for some
weapon
people, and if
types,
they
and
enjoy it,
new
let them play
features
it.
after
It's
that too. So look out for future updates and announcements. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Community Roundtable part of the Monster Hunter 20th Anniversary Show. Of course, I'm Jono, European Community Manager on Monster Hunter, and over on the opposite side there is Joe, the North American Community Manager on Monster Hunter, and today we have some very, very special guests. How about you introduce yourselves, starting with Kogath?
Hey, I'm Kogath. I'm Monster Hunter Wiki guy. You see me a lot of times on Twitter, or X, whichever you'd like to call it. Normally I'd have a camera up, but since mine's not working, I'm a ping tuber for today.
Well, I'm Vampy. I also go by Vampy Bit Me, and I've been a fan of the Monster Hunter series for quite some time now. Not as long as maybe these guys, but I love it ultimately the same, and I love making costumes of the characters, of the armor sets and everything. And I just enjoy Monster Hunter as a series as a whole. So I'm glad to be here.
Hi, I'm Rurikhan, and I play the Gunlance, and I like big explosions, and that's really cool in Monster Hunter, so that's what I do. I just blow things up, and it's fun.
Amazing. Well, thanks everybody for being here. We're so glad to have all of you here for this pretty casual chat. But 20 years of Monster Hunter, we wanted to take a look back at the growth of this series. It's been an amazing run for the series. Obviously, there's a great future ahead, but we've had a pretty special relationship, I think, growing the Monster Hunter series here, both in US and in Europe. So want to ask all of you who've played a pretty crucial role in that, what makes Monster Hunter special for each of you? Why don't we start, Kogath, with you, with your relationship with the series?
Well, I started back when I was 18. I was just hanging out at a place named GameStop, just this little video game store. We'd hang out late, play stuff like Capcom vs. SNK and stuff. There was new releases that came out, and I saw the box art, and I'm like, okay, that's a cool dragon on it. Played that for a little bit, got through Velocidrome. I was like, oh, cool. Little blue Velociraptor. Wasn't that bad, right? And I get to Kutku, this pink chicken thing, and I'm like, oh, this should be easy, right? It looks weak. Destroys me. Destroys me. No chance. And just from that, I learned just, okay, I have to take this seriously. Actually put time into grinding out my gear and stuff, and it hooked me.
Debbie, how about you?
When I first started with the series, I personally was watching my little brother play. He's been playing since the beginning, and he's always pushed me, like, hey, you should play this game. And we have similar tastes, but I was never really into games that that needed maybe possibly other people to play with. I was more so a player that liked my own time with maybe like hunting or whatever. So it was a little bit odd for me, but then I love the monsters. And the name itself was very interesting, Monster Hunter. So obviously you hunt monsters, right? So I tried it afterwards with 3. And it honestly got me hooked. Ultimately, it hooked me because of the dialogue. I think that's the main thing that got me in the beginning, and the monsters, but Guildmarm literally made me roll every time she talked. So I was kind of stunned that this kind of game had that kind of dialogue, and also the music. I still listen to the music to this day when I'm like just doing chores and stuff, and I just ultimately love everything about Monster Hunter. It's just so cute. Love the palicos. I love all the weapons that you can, hunt with. And also the community. Probably talk more about that later, but I made so many friends through Monster Hunter, and ultimately, like, my brother and I connect way more now because we can talk about Monster Hunter and all the other games that are out now. So it's pretty cool.
So for me, the first Monster Hunter that I tried was Monster Hunter Tribe, because I had a friend that was always talking up Monster Hunter to me. And the interesting thing is that I actually didn't like it because I couldn't understand what the point was. It's like, oh, I jump into this map, but everything is empty and I'm supposed to fight just one monster. It was kind of like a concept of a game that I had never really experienced before. So it was really weird and it didn't click. But eventually, a friend of mine, this same friend that was always talking up Monster Hunter, took me under his wing. And one of the really cool things that was very surprising for me was I got Monster Hunter Freedom Unite on the Vita, and it was compatible to do ad hoc play with the PlayStation Portable, which to me was like mind-blowing. How are we getting these two completely different consoles to work and everything just works fine? I was super surprised. But then he actually explained to me that the whole concept of, you hunt the monster and then you get its parts and you upgrade your equipment, and then you can hunt an even bigger monster, and then you get its parts and you upgrade more and you hunt even a bigger monster, and so on and so forth. And then the gameplay loop kind of clicked and I got completely addicted to it. So Monster Hunter to me is 2 things. It is the gameplay loop that it has of constantly upgrading yourself and getting to fight harder challenges, and friendship, because I've also made a ton of friends by playing Monster Hunter, including this friend of mine who got me into Monster Hunter. And then at a later time, I made friends with Gaijin and Eric's and a lot more people in the community. It was just like friggin' awesome. Just had a blast.
Yeah, I think that journey that you described, I think it's kind of like ironic too, because you've really like done that for a lot of other people, right? People kind of discovering the series, maybe they didn't just like click with it right away, and then over time they go over like, they learn all about it. It really starts to click with them, and then they spread the word to other people. So yeah, it's been pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, exactly. And as Vampy said, we're going to be diving into, what exactly makes the Monster Hunter community so special. But before then, I have quite arguably the most important question of the whole recording. And it kind of defines you, because in Monster Hunter, I feel that as hunters, your weapon choice defines you and, defines you amongst the community. And with 14 kind of currently existing weapons to choose from. Obviously, Rurikhan, you did touch on yours. You're a bit of a blast in the hunt. Me, Sword and Shield. Ever since Ryu, which is my first Monster Hunter, that's been my one. Like, I love it. It's my bread and butter. So let's pass that down the line. Kogath, you're up.
People know I love the Greatsword. It's just always been my main once the first game. Just seeing it evolve throughout the series has been awesome.
I kind of have to say And I think a lot of people do know, but if you do not know, I'm a hammer main. I love my hammer. I'm kind of like Ryozo, where you see my chart. I don't know if you guys seen Ryozo's chart. I'm sure you have, or if you haven't, it's literally all hammer. And I think majority of the games when I first started was just that, the hammer. And I still love it to this day. And yeah, I love the hammer.
What drew you to it?
It's just I like the feel of the hammer. Like, there's weight to it, you know? And when I'm hunting, I just love breaking parts, and I just love bonking the monsters on the head. It just feels good. It's a very satisfying weapon for me. So that's why I use it.
So an interesting thing that happened to me was this one friend that got me into Monster Hunter when, he was telling me how about I had to pick a weapon, right? And he was, you need to pick a weapon so that you get good with one weapon. And I was like, okay, well, what are the weapons that are available? He starts listing them all off, and suddenly he says gunlance. And I was like, I want that one. And he's like, no, don't choose that. That one's bad. You don't want to play that one. And I was like, no, that's the one I want. It's definitely the one I want. And the more he tried convincing me otherwise, the more I would double down. No, this is the one.
I think with a lot of us, it just kind of, whatever feels natural to each player, you finally get your hands on it, and you're like, yep, this one feels right. This is what I'm going to use.
That's actually why whenever somebody jumps into a stream or something and asks me, hey, what weapon would you recommend for a newcomer? My recommendation is always, I recommend you go to the training grounds and use all of them and see which one gels with you the most, because a recommendation doesn't really matter if you're going to have to learn them.
Very true. That is very true.
It's kind of like choosing a character in a fighting game. It's like, choose the one that you think looks the coolest and then just give it a shot. See how it feels.
Yeah, exactly. And, each time you pick up a new weapon, it kind of feels like you're playing a different game. Like when I think about like playing Hunting Horn, which I used for my PC playthrough of like Rise and Sunbreak, it was entirely different to what I knew with the sword and shield. And also shout out to any duters out there. Whenever you join any lobbies that I'm in, I love you. I immediately love you. Your buffs, they're always greatly appreciated.
Also, when you're using a different weapon, other than what people are used to seeing you use, you find a new subset of people, and their personalities are vastly different from each other. Like the bow users. I can't stand the bow. Right? Like they start acting, they're a little bit different than the hammer, great sword, the heavy weapons, right? Like they're just like a little bit different. So I find that very interesting. Like a different set of people have a certain kind of personality, I think. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's Lance. Oh, sorry, after you, Joe.
Oh, I was going to say, I think we always say, like, with people's weapon choices, it becomes, like, a big part of their personality. And some people, it's, like, their entire personality, which I love it. I love to see it, so that's great.
Exactly. Lance users, they're, like, the chillest people you'll ever meet. You think people that are always in the front tanking monster hits are going to be some, like, really amped up hardcore people, but they are the most laid-back folks in the community.
Yes. And they're very precise. My brother is a hardcore lance user, and I'm just like, he's just like, yeah, love the lance, my weapon. But when I talk about my hammer, I'm like, I have this hammer, I'll break these parts for you. What do you need? It's just extra, So it really depends.
Did I miss it, or did Joe not say his weapon?
Oh, I guess I did it. Yeah, I'm like Kogath. I'm a great sword main all the way. Yeah,
I just wanted to make...
Yeah, once you see those gigantic damage numbers, it's really hard to go back. It doesn't feel.
I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have any longsword mains or Hogan users. And
I'm curious now.
It's just a meme in my community that I like to make fun of it, and it's just an exaggerated meme that ended up happening.
Guys, we have to everyone check out the pages now. Everyone raid the pages and find out. Huh.
All my dark secrets will come to light.
Yes.
And talking of that though, you raised a great point about how within the Monster Hunter community, all the different creators groups and the sub communities, even the Reddit page has their own jokes, and that's one of the things that makes the Monster Hunter community so special. And for me, kind of coming into Monster Hunter, it was actually the content creators that taught me how to play the game back in the 3U days. I had my little 3DS and all of that. And I didn't know how to play this game. I loved hard games. I kind of started my Devil May Cry and things like that back in the day. So I had this hunger for boss fights and hard fighting. And I heard about this game called Monster Hunter that was from Japan. And it's hard. It's the same people that did Devil May Cry. And I was like, I'm going to check that out. And I had no idea what I was doing. I had to collect stuff. I have to sharpen my weapon. You know, what do I do? And it was actually the creators that brought me in. So ever since then, I've had such a soft spot for the creators that kind of really bring the community together and help newcomers settle in. And I think that's something that makes the Monster Hunter community so special, in my opinion, is how welcoming it is, and how in some places, you know, you might see people gatekeeping, like, oh, you can't use that weapon, that's my weapon. But here, people militantly want you to play their weapon.
Yes.
They want to tell you why their weapon is the best one and why everyone else is wrong. And that's one thing I think is really, really cool about the community. So what about you guys? What makes Monster Hunter community special to you?
Well, on that note, it's like, well, there's only one weapon that's got great in its name. Greatsword. But yeah, the community has just been something that's kept me going for, you know, past, let's say, 10, 12 years, give or take. Because I started doing community stuff with Monster Hunter Try. I did a couple videos, and then 3 Ultimate, I'd always make sure, oh, there's a new event quest, gotta get a video out, you know. But when I started doing the wiki stuff, it was all about me wanting to give back to the community, wanting to help them any way I can. If it was, you know, teaching them how to play the game or teaching them where to find stuff. And I don't know, it's just always been such a, to put it, just such a cooperative thing with everybody. All of us going towards the same goal and trying to help bring each other up to help, you know, beat these big monsters.
I love that story because I relate so much. I think all of us do, especially with the community, because I was new too. So back then they would have caravans traveling, and I would go to all these caravans, and my friend brought me, and they're like, you need to meet the community. I'm like, online? They're like, no, you just meet them in person. And they would have these caravans where you can buy things like, you know, merchandise, plushies and stuff. It'll be at Capcom. And I would go with my 3DS, and people were just talking to each other, and I was not used to that in line. And everyone was just comparing each other's monsters, favorite weapons, and it's just that energy when you're around everyone talking about the same thing. Obviously, this amazing game, Monster Hunter, right? So everything was very interesting to me because I'm like, everyone's actually really nice. And I love that. It was almost like, it was a magnet for me because I didn't have that. Especially with fighting games. I love fighting games, but there was always obviously fighting, but everyone's, like Kogot said, you know, everyone's working together. And I made so many friends during that caravan that I pretty much, you know, started to hang out with them around the 4U days. And then it got to a point where I would be bringing my 3DS, so we would have play in our cars. And of course, it would disconnect sometimes, and that'll be the worst. We'll be playing against Crimson Fatalis or something. And if someone fall, you know, just, well, I'm not there anymore, so good luck, you know? And we would just have the funnest time laughing at each other. And it's just so fun. It's so fun. And like, it's actually not as serious as people make it out to be all the time. It's actually hilarious because you see everyone panicking in these moments, and you see everyone, you know, working together and rising up. It's so awesome. Yeah.
I think that really touches upon the point, which is that the Monster Hunter community is very much a super cooperative community, which really just tries to bring more people into their game, which doesn't always happen with a lot of other video games that you have out there. And it just seems like it's one of those things where if somebody has a question, usually people don't go and start making fun of them. It's usually more like, hey, try it like this. Maybe you're doing this thing wrong. Like one really good example is, for instance, HeyJ. I don't know if you guys remember, HeyJ made his video where he said, oh, I actually don't really like this Monster Hunter Rise thing. And the community went up to his video and showered him in comments basically saying things like, hey, maybe you should have tried it like this. Maybe you should have tried this thing. There wasn't really a negative backlash or anything like that. And I think that is one of the most perfect examples of the community getting together to kind of just like celebrate the game and try to be as inclusive to newcomers as possible, even people who have a negative opinion on the game, which I was very impressed. Even though I was aware that because I had been creating content for the game, I was aware that the community is very positive. I would still expect like more people to come out and be like, you don't know what you're talking about or something like that. There was almost none of that, which is almost unheard of for a lot of communities, I would say. So yeah, I was very impressed.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things that comes from the series kind of like having more humble beginnings in kind of like the Western territories and being a phenomenon in Japan. And I feel like anybody who got their hands on it here in the US or Europe were just super, super excited about it. They just want people to like understand like this game is so good. You need to get it. You need to get it. And so I think like it's just created this like groundswell of everybody like wanting people to play Monster Hunter, just to try it, just to understand it. And it's really created like a community that's super positive and welcoming. So yeah, it's really great to see.
Yeah, we had all these niche little communities, and we just want more and more people to come join us, Come on, come help with this Rathalos. And, oh, you need help with that monster? I'll help you out. No worries. And we just keep getting together and growing as a family.
I did so many Alatreon lobbies. It was insane. Like, for like the moment Alatreon dropped, I think for the next 3 weeks, almost every other day, I was like, okay, guys, everybody that hasn't killed Alatreon yet, let's go. Join the party. We're all coming in. It's a big Alatreon train, and we're going to kill them a bunch of times. Everybody get your materials. It was a celebration. It was that. It was for Cult to Roth, we did the same thing. For Safi Jiva, we did the same thing. So it's a ton of fun.
I agree. The Alatreon was crazy because that was the wall that everyone hit. And I think everyone who was streaming at the time like worked together to figure it out. And I remember that day that it launched and I was like, I'm not sleeping. So everyone here, I'm sure you guys understand, we did not sleep until we figured it out,
Yeah.
And it was crazy. And so I'll always remember that, Alatreon's crazy. So good point.
Thanks for that, Alatreon, as well. We appreciate you bringing the community together.
Yeah.
For the greater good.
And well, after you, good sir.
Before I know we're talking a little bit about like World and Rise, and obviously like the series has reached like this global status where like a bunch of people are playing it and everybody knows about it. But let's wind it back a little bit. So I don't know if any of you guys played the first Monster Hunter on PS2 or played some of the games on PSP, and if you have, what was that first experience like? And if you haven't, are there any like monsters from that era that maybe like really connected with you?
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, that's where I started, PS2. And just that first Kutku that destroyed me has stayed with me, and it's become one of my favorite monsters throughout the series. Just a, goofy pink chicken monster that breathes fire. I've never seen anything like that until playing Monster Hunter. And it's been fun watching that monster evolve throughout the series as it comes in, and, it gets subspecies and similar species to it, like Yangaruga.
Even though I didn't play the initial games, I did watch my brother get very angry and throw his controller many times. And I do remember him getting really angry about the Kutku, which I thought, like, are you serious? And he's like, yes. And I was like, okay. So, you're right. Like, seeing it evolve is very interesting to me as a spectator as well. So that was very cool that you said that, because it did pique my interest a little bit, I think, back then, even though I didn't play the game. So, yeah.
So I always hear about the Kutku and how it was a wall for a lot of players in Monster Hunter 1. I didn't really play Monster Hunter 1, but like I said earlier, I did play Freedom Unite with my friend. And one of my fondest memories was actually Gypsyros. Because Gypsyros does that thing where he plays dead, but he's actually not dead. And so my friend completely trolled me. He was like, oh yeah, he's dead. Let's go carve now and whatnot. And the music stops, and you're like, oh, okay, this is fine. I go up to carve now. it's not working. Like, is it glitched? Do we get this? And then he just like does his thing and one-shots me. And I was like, hey, wait a minute. And my friend's just laughing himself. I was like, what the hell? What do you mean? That's not fair.
I like how they waited. They're just like, let him cook. let him figure it out. I love that, because that's what we do too. Because we're like, oh, this will be perfect, because they don't know.
That becomes kind of like a rite of passage whenever we bring a new player and we're playing some of the older games or something. It's always like, oh, yeah, Gibbs throws. Yeah, let's do Gibbs throws. Oh, yeah, he's fine. Go ahead and go get your loot. It's fine. It's all good.
I can say for me, I joined a little bit later. I was a 3U. That was as I mentioned, my first one.
Same.
And, yeah, and then quite rapidly as well. I was like, I'm going to get into 4U. And then, like, 4U's when I was like, yeah, I love this franchise. Like, I really enjoyed 3U, and I was like, this is great. This game's cool. And then I jumped onto 4U, and yeah, the rest is kind of history. I was in since then. And yeah, it was really special how even between 3U and 4U, how different the games felt. You know, one thing about Monster Hunter is like each generation has a different feel to it, and some new additions and things like that was keeping the core DNA there. So you're always on your toes, always finding out fresh things, even for your favorite weapons. The identity is still there, but they play a bit different, or they have a few tricks, or what they have has changed. Like, you know, when you think, for example, between 3 to 4U and then jumping ahead and you look at the difference between like World and Rise, there's always something new, and there's always something to grow as a hunter and to try out, and that's what I found really, really fun.
Yeah. You know, speaking of that era where you kind of started, John, that's also where I started as well. And honestly, it's the guides from the community and different creators that helped me really get into it. So you talked about a little bit, but is there any like kind of key memories from that era of Monster Hunter 3DS that really resonated with you guys?
The first time jumping in the water and actually being able to swim in it, that was amazing.
There's so many memories. I mean, Gormagala showing up, Tetsukabra, you know, fighting that, and then, you know, making all the armor sets. I think that game also hooked me. I couldn't believe how immaculate to me that game was. And it's still to this day just indented into my, I guess, memory. I even told the previous community managers it changed my life, and they're like, huh? And I'm like, no, I'm being serious. This game changed my life. And I think they kind of were like taken back by that. And I was like, no, it was my hands were bruised. That's how much I held on to my 3DS, and it was bruised on the sides, and it was I was clenching the whole time. I didn't move most of my days. I was in my bed playing, crafting, and it was just, I almost felt like I was manic. I love the game so much, and I was like, this is it. I love Monster Hunter, and I think that definitely solidified my passion the 4U days. So yeah, it's great.
I mean, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate is literally the only reason why I even bought a 3DS to begin with, because I don't care about 3DS at all. Like, I usually play home console and stuff like that, but 4 Ultimate did not come out on home console, so I was like, well, I have to get this 3DS because I definitely want to be playing this game. And 4 Ultimate is still one of my favorite Monster Hunter stories. And I know that a lot of people don't really play the game for the story, it's more for the gameplay loop and all that, but the journey that you take throughout Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, from the beginning where you fight, is it the Ran or Genran? I think it's the Ran in 4 Ultimate. You fight the Ran, and I was like, this fight is awesome. You load the cannons with the bullets, and you shoot the cannons, and the whale flies over you and whatnot, and all these crazy things happen. I love that. And I've been asking since forever, please bring them back at some point. I had such hopes for Rise, to see them in Rise. But yeah, I love that introduction. And I love the progression of the story, because in 4 Ultimate, you actually get to visit multiple villages. So you get that feeling, because every village in Monster Hunter always has a very unique vibe to it. From the music to the NPCs that are there, to the interactions and even the quests and some of the characters that you meet while you are there. And then 4 Ultimate, you get to experience that feeling multiple times, which to me was really cool. And you know, even the whole thing about min-maxing your palico a little bit. And in 4 Ultimate, we also got Charge Blade for the first time and mounting for the first time. So I was even playing Insect Glaive because I just wanted to mount all the time because I thought, oh, this mechanic is so cool. And just like stabbing at the monster while he's like wildly trying to get you off and whatnot. It was.
You remember the pizza cutter thing?
Oh yeah.
I just remember seeing that for the first time because you're just like grouping up with people and you're like, is that pizza? And then for me, I was shocked. And I was like, oh, what weapon is that? Do I get pizza? And I had a hammer. Of course, we're not going to have a pizza. So I was like, oh, I need to try that weapon. It didn't click with me at the time, but it looked cool. They had really cool weapons, styles and everything that made me laugh a lot too. Yeah.
I believe that the first corn popper was Freedom Unite, if I'm not mistaken. So we also had the corn popper.
Corn popper.
Yeah, it's just a big, it's just a big piece of corn, which, interestingly enough, in Monster Hunter Rise was like one of the best gun lances in the game.
Oh man, that sounds cool. I did not. Yeah, I need to play that weapon now. Corn popper.
Play gun lance.
Weapons are so funny. So many different designs.
Hey, it's always good to go back, Yeah.
It's like when I first saw the tuna greatsword, I was like, it's an ice elemental greatsword. No, I'm holding an actual spear tuna by the nose and swinging it at monsters. And then for like hammer, you get this teddy bear that you beat people with.
Yeah.
This is perfect. I love this.
Yeah, the range of weapons, you've got your serious kind of weapons, you've got the cool looking weapons, more traditional ones, and then obviously you've got like the comedy weapons almost. Like, I think, is it you can get a couple of mugs of beer or some other beverage, and I think, is it World?
For dual blades. For dual blades, yeah.
Blades.
I think
you get the Dargo dual blades in Rise. Like, yeah, there's a load of cool weapons. Obviously, the sword and shield though, we're quite humble mostly. I did get my Zenoga sword and shield in Rise though, 'cause I do like that. It growls when you bring it out. And kind of talking of that, obviously we've touched on about how we got into Monster Hunter, whether that's friends, family, content creators, or looking for a challenge. And during all that time in the early days, for many it was kind of seen as kind of a niche game, almost. And then all of that changed with a little game called Monster Hunter World. So how was that for you, seeing this game that you love and this community that you've been a part of and kind of nurtured for so long suddenly kind of really go global? How was that? It
was insane because I was at that E3, and normally it's like, okay, we'll have one community manager there. We had all of them on staff there that day, and tons of the content creators there, and I'm like, oh, this is a big thing. We've got this big, huge statue of Rathalos looking up at that, and I'm like, this isn't just, the niche little fandom that I had before. No, this is Monster Hunter worldwide. And just being there with everybody was so cool, and meeting people that been with the series for a while or just getting into it. We'd have all kinds of, people that aren't used to the series come up and be like, what is this big monster here? And it's like, well, this is Rathalos. He's one of the main flagships of this game series, and being able to tell them about it, and then actually getting to see the gameplay, and it's not flat world anymore. It's all these massive landscapes, and being able to track the monsters around and actually feel like you're hunting them it's insane.
It's hard for me to put a lot of this stuff into words, to be quite honest, because when I saw the words Monster Hunter on my screen, when they made the announcement, I felt my whole body, bumps everywhere. I was goosebumps. I almost wanted to tear up. I screamed in my house. I remember the day. I was like, Monster Hunter is coming to PlayStation. I still feel it. Like, I remember who was around me. I remember the moment, and I was like, this is going to be crazy, because it was always on handheld for me. So to be able to play on my, PS4, nuts. And I was like, this is it. Everyone has to play now. Everyone has to. So I remember the trail of Twitter posts I was making. I was like, so it's time for you guys all to play now. You have no excuse. It's on PS4. You're going to have a demo. That means a demo. So when the demo came out, it was over. I was playing that nonstop. I didn't sleep. It was awesome. And I could slide down, with my hammer and boop. I was just, it was great. Anyway, moving on. I loved it. All of it.
So to me, that was so meaningful that I actually don't remember a single other thing that was announced during that E3. It was just like, no, whatever. Monster Hunter is finally coming. Because the thing was, I had covered Monster Hunter in my channel before the announcement of World, but it was always like one of those things where I couldn't really dedicate as much time as I wanted to it, because one of the things about content creation is about timing, right? And so Monster Hunter games before that were out in Japan, and then 1 year later they would come to the West. And by then, most of the really, dedicated content creators they would buy the Japanese version, and they would like somehow manage to interpret what was going on in the game. And I was like, I can't do that. Like, I don't know. I can't try out the game in Japanese. It's just really weird to me. I can't play it like that. So when I realized that this one was going to have a worldwide release, I was like, oh my God, I've been waiting for this for so long. I've been wanting to cover. So instantly, just like video after video, telling people about how amazing this game is, and we all need to play this game. This is going to be insane. And it was that. And then the moment the demo came out was when it all came together, because I was like, up until that point, you don't really know what the gameplay feels like. Because Monster Hunter has this texture to it, to the way that it plays, the way that each move feels, and when you hit the monster and all of that. And with the more, let's say, more fluid animations that we're seeing for Monster Hunter World and all, a lot of people were questioning themselves, is it still going to feel like Monster Hunter? And when we finally get our hands in the beta, it's like, yes, it still feels like, it's so good. And it was just completely insanity from there. I was completely addicted. I put in way over 100 hours in that demo, checked out every single weapon, did runs where we were killing all of the monsters that were just there that you weren't even supposed to kill, like chase after Rathalos because he shows up, and chase after Anjanath when he shows up. And there was even like a rare monster that wouldn't always show up, which was Puke Puke, I think. So like there was a chance that the Puke Puke would spawn in the map, but it would only do it like once every 100 times or something ridiculous like that. So everybody was running through the beta over and over and over, trying to see if they could get the Puke Puke to spawn.
Yeah, I think one of the cool things about World also, and Iceborne, getting to Iceborne, is that it was the first kind of like free title update and expansion that was all happening for a Monster Hunter title. So it was like the game launched, and then it was like a longer term relationship with the game, honestly, like several years of playing, and people are still playing today. So I think that's one of the cool things, is that, being able to like go along for the ride, see all the monsters revealed with the different events and whatnot. I think that was just really cool to see. And I know the team really loves, the monster reveals and seeing everybody's reactions. So yeah, anytime we see your guys' reactions, we're always making sure that the team in Japan knows about it as well.
The changing of the gathering hub was also fantastic. The way that it would completely change whenever there was a new event, like, hey, here's the spring event, completely different gathering hub. And it would always bring the community together, because everybody wanted to go farm the special like events that would be available at any given time to get all the special timed rewards and whatnot. I thought that was an absolute blast. And even when the sieges would come, and again, the community would just jump back in, and everybody would be grinding stuff. It was really cool. And another really cool aspect was the fact that the lobbies would actually hold more players. So you would constantly have like a bunch of players in your lobby and different people running different things. It was just such a good time.
I love that. Yeah, like the 16 people, player lobbies was nuts. And being able to take pictures, I mean, I loved taking pictures with everyone. Because, being able to do that, capture those memories with everyone, and also having all the hunts be faster, so you can get your weapons. And, if you don't want to hunt that monster, you can go somewhere else to the other side and someone's hunting, So I loved how fluid everything was. And I think also cooking the steaks a lot faster, it's just everything was perfect. And it felt like a challenge, like every time you played the monsters that came out, it was a challenge, and it brought a little bit of a good stress, I think. I really love that. I was like, oh man, This one's gonna be hard, guys. I guess we're not sleeping tonight, and that's one of our favorite things to say to each other. Like, are you prepped for this? Did you shower? Did you fry some snacks? Do you have 2 different waters? You can't like 2 different drinks. You have to have water and something else. So we would prep each other. It's just so funny because it's like when a new one, a new monster comes out for the free title updates. It's just all that stuff. You prep each other too. So it's awesome. It was awesome. I love those days, and we have them again. We still have them again. People are still going. Coming back to World.
Oh yeah.
I am. So it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I loved always seeing the big gathering halls just full of people. You'd have people on one side playing, just at the what was it, like a little hot spring. They'd just be hanging out in there. You'd have people doing the arm wrestling, and it was great as a streamer because you could have just different groups of people be like, all right, we completed this quest, let's shuffle the next group in. And you just constantly be working together towards stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. And, you've all actually touched on kind of our next topic, which is kind of favorite memories from World and Iceborne. And, for me, it kind of starts quite humble with having more of my friends actually come into Monster Hunter and playing through with them and grinding and farming with them. But then I found that I was getting experiences that actually really got my heart pumping. Obviously talking about title updates and Alatreon, which I absolutely love, because I'm a sword and shield, so I use elemental weapons anyway. So, I was right at home.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing with that, having that, you had to kind of hit that damage limit before the Nova attack, and you think you're close, but you don't know, and it's going to do it soon. Is it Eschaton Judgment, I think?
Eschaton Judgment, yeah.
And I'm like, are we there? Have we got the horn yet? And you can hear, the heartbeat kind of go in, and then your heartbeats go in. And the first time we beat that, was just an incredible feeling. Fatalis was great as well. Fatalis was insane, but just the kind of pressure I felt in that hunt, and then the kind of the nostalgic music playing at the end as well when you do take down Alatreon, that was really, really, really special. And as a sword and shield user, I felt validated that my elemental set was so good.
Go, Gath.
I'm trying to think.
Okay, Vampy, do you want to go? Because I have mine.
The most memorable thing about World? There's
The most memorable thing that happened to you while you were playing World.
Oh. This is really hard, guys. There's so many things.
I know, right?
World,
That's why
right?
I have trouble with it.
I have to say Alatreon, because when it came out, I was like, okay, how is this going to be different? How is it going to be different to hunt? And also, being a hammer user, everyone was counting on me every time I streamed. Can you break this for me? Can you break? And of course, you don't want to let them down. You're like, yeah, I got you. So I had to practice. So I definitely remember, a lot of the community would come into my streams like, can you break this for me? Break that for me? Especially during that time. And I was giving myself a lot of stress. I was like, you better break it. The first part, you better break it. So I had to be exact with everything I was doing. So when it first came out, I think I slept at 8 a.m. I had some people come in, previous, friends of mine in the community, and they're like, did you sleep yet? And I'm like, no, we haven't beaten it yet. I will not sleep. And you shouldn't make promises in the beginning of a stream. I recommend don't do that, because you're not gonna rest. But that was definitely one of my most memorable, because when we did finally beat him, it was with the people that I hunted the most, because we worked very well together. So we can synchronize, and we trusted each other, that we knew our weapons very well. And I think that's one of the main things, is working with a team that knows their weapon and knows timing. And being able to have that, camaraderie with friends is awesome. So yeah, same then.
So it'd be easy to also go after Alatreon. So I'm going to mention 2 other things that were extremely memorable for me. So one of the first ones was one of the first times I interacted with Basilgoose, which ends up being my favorite monster, particularly the seething variant that we got with Iceborne. That's my favorite monster of all time. Easy, because I'm all about explosions and he's all about explosions. But the really cool thing was that he would just jump into your hunts and be the most annoying creature ever. you'd be. I was fighting. I think one of the first times I was high rank fighting a Radabon in what was it called? I forget the name of the actual. The place where Radabon hangs out. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
The Rotten Vale.
Rotten Vale. So I'm in there and I'm fighting Radabon, and he comes in and he starts dropping, his bombs. And I was like, what? What's this? And then I hit one of them by mistake and it explodes in my face. Now, what's going on? And then he drops in, boom. I was like, what is this? What's going on? And then he leaves. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I continue fighting Radabon. And after a while, he comes in and does the same thing again. And I was like, no. This is not right. So I chase him all over the map. You're not supposed to fight him at that point. But I just chase him all over the map. And I fight him for, I don't know for how long I fought him. But I think I carded 3 times to him. And I lost the quest because I was just like, forget Radabon. I need to kill him because he's so annoying. So like that rivalry, I was super excited about that. That's one of my favorite memories. And the other one was actually a collaboration. Extremoth, if you guys remember Behemoth, but like the extreme version of him, because that required so much coordination that I had to like bring in my previous expertise from MMO rating, and I was like, okay guys, here's what we're gonna do. When he does Charybdis, everybody that has the thing under you, you have to go to one of the corners of the map, you have to drop your tornado in the corner of the map, then you come back. I was playing Sword and Shield for that. I made a build that was all about like wide range, healing, speed eating, whatever was the thing that made you sometimes not consume your consumables. I forget what the name of the skill is, but I had all of those things going, and the idea was everybody in my lobby, you never have to heal. You never have to worry about that. All you got to do is deal damage, okay?
Yeah.
And I know exactly when I want the mount, so I will do the mounting when it needs to be done. I will do everything, and it was amazing because it was such a thing that required so much coordination, and it took a tremendous amount of time to actually do, and it was a ton of fun to go through and do that fight. I loved it.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, when you're talking about it, I visually was seeing like how everything mapped out because I never used my radial. I usually just craft everything.
Oh, wow.
The first time I actually used it, I was like, oh, I have to like have that jump mechanic. So I had to put on the bottom of my radial, and I was like, okay, do the the healings and all that stuff. It's just crafting on the spot, So that was definitely one of them that I had to use for.
Using the Dragoon jump to escape the meteor?
Yeah.
No, I was always hiding behind the rock.
It's all timing, and I think that's one of the things too, like, to learn it, right? Like so well that you know the time, right? Like everything's timing. And especially with those kind of monsters, you're like, okay, better count. So we're counting too. It was really crazy. I was like, what? I felt insane. I think that hunt, I definitely felt like an insane person. But also, you wanted the armor set. It's beautiful.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I felt so cool, and you can change the colors and everything. I was like, oh, look at me. Like every time you go into, like the Gathering Hub and you have a new set, you always feel like in 4U where you could like change the color.
So fancy.
I know. You just feel so cool. Like, oh, I have it. You don't have it? Like,
oh, that's
oh, you don't have it.
Oh, right there. Oh man, too bad. I guess not.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm good, I guess.
Free life.
Love that. No, but it was fun. It was fun.
At the same time, a lot of us would be like, "Oh, you don't have that? Well, come on, let's go get it."
That's true.
Make our friends.
That's true.
Let's help do them.
It was a lot of fun. It was really good times.
No doubt. Did we circle back around to you?
For me, what impacted me the most was when Iceborne came out and we got near the end of it, and all of a sudden, here's the general showing up. Hey Hunter, we need you. It's like, there's more story? You guys are adding more? And the whole nostalgia wave of going back and having to fight Fatalis again, it's like, I get to teach you this lesson again, old man. Here we go. And I just loved how much it was still the same, yet different at the same time. It's like a lot of the old strategies still worked. It's still Fatalis, but they changed it so much with Iceborne, and just, again, how much this game the series evolves through time. It's crazy, and it just really moved me hearing the music again. And you'd get those goosebumps. You're like, yep, this is it again. This is why I'm hooked on the series.
And when you get Proof of a Hero, when you get him low enough and Proof of a Hero kicks in, it almost brings tears to your eyes. Oh, let's go. He's down. We gotta get him.
Every time anyone talks about anything, I'm just my face. I feel like getting hot because I'm like, I know how you feel, and that's the coolest thing. Like, I mean, anytime someone tells their story, you can feel a little bit of yourself in that moment, you know, with them. So it's awesome.
I just love how it's obvious the team definitely thinks about what they add to the game.
Yeah.
And everything they do, even with the collaboration quests they do. It's not just, yep, here's an outfit from this game. With World, they added new quest lines and really made you feel like part of their world as well as part of Monster Hunter.
Yeah. Honestly, when Proof of a Hero hits in that Fatalis fight, I feel like my brain just like hits like a weird, like, I don't know, a weird level where I'm just like, nothing else matters. I think I've made some mistakes in that hunt at the end because I've just stopped thinking at that point. It's too crazy.
I mean, on my first solo kill, by the end, I was actually playing Sword and Shield, and I was just like mashing circle, like, just die. There was like 10 seconds left. Just die, please, just die.
And you don't know when because you're just moving back and forth. And it's not very obvious because you're in contained area. You're like, you gonna die?
For me, it amps me up. Like, that music hits, and I'm standing up now playing the game. Like, come on, let's go.
The lean in.
Wow, it was hard though, man. Like, Fatalis is hard, but that was rough. Yeah, that was a rough one for sure, but very fun. And he looked amazing. Oh my god. Just to see him that way, I was like, dang, what? Like, I remember when you're like that. Real tiny. Like, you would fly over me, you know, like in that lava area, you know, so it's very interesting to see him that big. So
yeah, well, we'll move it on from World and Iceborne. Obviously, that's such a huge topic; it's really tough to. But keep yeah, we could keep chatting for forever. I want to touch on Monster Hunter Stories, which we just recently announced that Monster Hunter Stories 1 is coming back to modern platforms, which is really exciting. But have you guys played either of the two Stories games? I mean, we both Jono and I think we've already talked about some of our memories in the pre-show. We both love those games and the different, like, kind of turn-based RPG style it brings to the series. But how about you guys?
Oh yeah, I've played them. Like, when I first saw them, it was their predecessor. There was this arcade machine in Japan called Monster Hunter Spirits, and they'd have all these little baby designs of monsters. So I was like, those are really cute. I really want those. And then seeing them bring it over to consoles, change it to Monster Hunter Stories, I was like, yep, this is what I want. I love these kind of games. And just the characters really grab me. I know Naviero is not for everyone, but I absolutely adore him. Really excited first game's coming back because not many people have experienced that story, and it gives so much backstory on him, and it will make you love him. Just the story, the narrative, and the gameplay is great because you're actually getting to fight with these monsters that you've known and loved over the years, and just forming that bond with them is so cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that when I initially started getting into the Monster Hunter series, being able to play with others, but my first love is RPG, like just those turn-based style games. So having that style of game for Monster Hunter introduced to me, you know, and being able to play it is just two of the best worlds together for me. Seeing it very cute in that way, chibi, and also like their story, and also like getting my friends who are RPG nerds like that, the turn-based style, getting them into it was really easy. They're like, oh, why do you always play Monster Hunter? What are these monsters? I don't understand anything. And even though they don't like the other kind of game style, they could play this and they thoroughly enjoyed this. So the stories was perfect for every kind of person that, that I could talk to about Monster Hunter. And they eventually learned all the monsters too. So when I would stream the other games, they were like, oh, so that's Rathalos. And I'm like, what? And I'd never heard them talk about Monster Hunter before. So it was just kind of cool, but weird at the same time. Like, oh, yeah, sure. Then that means you have to play in other games now. So they liked it too. They loved it. So I loved it. They loved it. And it's pretty awesome that for me, seeing it in that way was really cute and fun. So yeah, I'm excited for it.
I got to see Legiacris again after so long. I've missed Legiacris for so long because, like I said, I started with Try, even though it didn't really click with me. I still had fond memories of that mission where you jump into the water and there's Legiacris just being super menacing and whatnot. So being able to see him in that game and actually have him on my team was really cool. But ultimately, just being able to actually ride a Basel Goose around, I was like, oh, this is so awesome. And the cool thing is also that you fight alongside the monsters. And so, I would also be wyvern firing because you guys actually put gun lance as one of the weapons, because I don't think all of the weapons were in there. So the fact that we had gun lance, I was like, yes, gun lance, and you can actually wyvern fire alongside the monsties. It was just an absolute blast. I loved it. And the ultimate attack that we could do with the Basel Goose was also freaking amazing. So it's like, I was like me and my boy Basel going all over the place, killing all of the other monsties and whatnot. And yeah, it was perfect. Love it.
Any game where you can befriend Kazu, I think is great in my book.
Is that your favorite?
Oh no, but
It's okay. I was wondering.
But he has the best theme. You gotta admit. I mean,
oh yeah, that OST. Yeah, the headphones just explode.
OST? Did you say the OST? Oh yeah, the best. The best.
I'm
a fan. I love Kazu.
You raise a good point, Vampy. We've not actually revealed our favorite monsters yet. So, as you brought up the topic, would you like to start?
Oh, Brachydios. When I first saw him, I was like, what is he doing in there? The lava area and for you, I was like, what is his head doing? And he just blow things up. Like Basilgeese, right? He would just blow things up at the same time. I'm like, what is this? But I loved he was actually very cute to me. Even though he was like causing destruction, I was like, this guy's adorable. And I think Guild Marm helped in that. She kept talking about him and made me obsessed too. And I was like, he's pretty interesting. She kind of brainwashed me, so I really liked Bragdios, so that's my favorite monster.
Mine has kind of evolved over the years since, I started with the beginning, and just the love of Kutku lasted quite a long time. Then finally Generations came out, and I see Gamos on this big, beautiful elephant, and fell in love with her. And then now we've got Malzeno, and I just absolutely love the vampire vibes of him and color scheme, and just everything clicks with me.
Yeah, those are awesome. But again, to me, it's Seething Basel Goose. I mean, he literally jumps up in the air, drops a bunch of bombs, and then explodes as a nuclear explosion in the middle of the map. Gorgeous. Love it. Can't get enough of it.
You're like, I'm a simple man.
Exactly. I like explosions. How they say cool guys don't look at explosions? That's not me.
I feel that, though. I feel that. I see it. Every time someone talks about their favorite monster and just that one, I know them already. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
I see what you like. I see what you like. Cool.
How about you,
Well,
Joey?
yeah, I'm a Devil Joe fan. I have to. It's my name is in it.
Oh, you like?
But also, yeah, I love the pickle. It's got like the tiny arms, so it just invades right in. Just completely destroys whatever hunt that you're doing, which I love that. It's just like the unpredictability, and also it's just got so much charm. It's just like this.
Do you remember the pickles that they used to sell? Do you ever see those? At the caravan, they sold Devil Joe pickles. It was really. I still have it, which is kind of gross, but I still have the thing. I was like, why? But then I bought it. I was like,
how many years ago now?
I don't want to remember because I didn't look at it either. I said, it's kind of gross. But anyway. Yeah. But Devil Joe, yeah, I think it's the Devil Joe, his character, we can talk about this for the whole stream, but like Devil Joe's character is very interesting. Like, you want to troll him.
Yeah.
Like, he's not very serious to me. He's just like there, and he's just
hungry all the time.
I've never stared at him. I'm just like, okay, come over here. But yeah.
But yeah, before we end up on the mythology of whether or not Devil Joe eats his own tail or not, my favorite monster, and I'm not copying you, I swear, is Brachydios as well. It's blue, first of all, and I'm quite fond of that color. Explosions, like early on in my Monster Hunter tenure, I really kind of liked slime weapons. I loved explosions and blasts, but not to the level of Gunlance. Appreciators, obviously, they like big explosions. And obviously, what we now know as the blast status. And I just love its music. I love how it fights. I love how it looks. It's raw. And then, obviously, in Iceborne with Raging Brachy, like, normally when a monster's nearly done, it's limping away, it's going to sleep, but Raging Brachy's like, oh, no, I'm not stuck in here with you, you're stuck in here with me. And then it creates that arena neither of you are leaving until the other's fallen. And I just think that's, like, one of the most badass things I've seen in a video game. It just flips the end of a hunt on its head, and things get even harder for you. You know, you slogged against this giant Brachy for ages, and it's not done with you yet. So yeah, I've got to be another one for the big blue monster. I kind of talking as well. I know obviously Kogath mentioned Malzeno. Obviously, Rise and Sunbreak, the most recent Capcom Monster Hunter releases. Like for me, like talking about my favorite parts of that is I've never played so many different weapons in a Monster Hunter game than I did Rise and Sunbreak. And for me, that would be the switch scrolls and switch scroll swap and the silk bind attacks. I loved they introduced Shield Bash and Metsu Shurigeki for the Sword and Shield, which I loved. They made the switch axe into this aerial menace. Like, no other title made me explore so many weapons, and I love it for that. What about you guys? What were your highlights of Rise and Sunbreak?
Honestly, I really liked I forget what we called them now, but that base defense little mini game we had.
Rampage,
that's it. I just thought it was cool because it was something different. It's like, yes, we're still hunting the monsters, but we're on defense, not on offense this time. We're not going to their home, they're coming to our home. Yeah, just the story of that game really hit me too, especially as they added the rampages, following along with the story and how, following Narwa and Ibushi, and just how they interacted with the NPCs was really cool.
Yeah, that was definitely a lunch date that I'd say they remember, but Ibushi probably won't.
Now, like further in the Sunbreak, when they added the ability to hunt with the NPCs, I thought that was great. That's something I've been wanting for a long time, because a lot of times I'll play solo if I'm not streaming or I have friends online, and then I still have that camaraderie with the NPCs, and some of them are unpredictable. I never know when they're going to shoot me in the back of the head while I'm trying to go after a monster, or sometimes they'll just run off and you're like, what are they doing? And then here they come riding in on a monster. It's like, I love this. This is perfect.
I really like the theme of the whole game. It's just very different from what I was used to anyway, especially vastly different from World and Iceborne. Being able to get to know the NPCs was very interesting too, because they had a lot of personality. Like, they always had personality, but like a lot more in this game. And also, I do agree with the trying new weapons. I actually tried all of the weapons in this one and played all of the weapons as this one as much as possible, more than generally what I would just use hammer or hunting horn or something. Also, being able to guess the next monsters, I think, is always really fun. So Shaguru Magala, Gore Magala, Astalos, that was freaking me out, because I was like, oh, this is crazy. Like, seeing them come back and, I kind of guessed it was Gore, but then, everyone was doing their guessing game online. So seeing them again was very exciting, especially if you're, like, playing For You a lot in those games and Generations. You're like, oh, they're back. That's really cool. And of course, everyone ate a lot of dango. And then, that was really fun, because everyone's like, I'm full of dango again. And we always made jokes about that. They're like, what are you eating today? Oh, dango. Like, what else do you think I'm eating? And also the little tiny Tetsukabra. That was really cute, seeing that in there. So I think they put a lot of like thought into all of the ideas into that game, especially for fans. So I really enjoyed it.
I mean, I feel like I've already revealed this in some other video that we did a while back, but like one of my favorite moments was when I unlocked Blast Dash, because I was just in the training area and then suddenly I realized, wait, I can chain this move? So I'm like, Blast Dash, and then I Blast Dash in the opposite direction, and you can do it like 3 times in a row. And I was like, wait, what? I can basically fly. That was even a meme that people made where there was because we had the wire bugs, right? So people were saying that normal users normal players of Monster Hunter Rise were like Spider-Man, and Gunlance players were like Iron Man because we were flying around with the gun.
Very true.
That was so much fun, and the tremendous amount of play styles that it unlocked for Gunlance, where you had at the beginning of Rise, you had like stake spam because you could basically just constantly do the worm stake, and then you would do guard reload and then worm stake again, and then you had different playstyles with full burst, and it was crazy. Like just the amount of playstyles that the game unlocked for any given weapon was completely insane, which was one of my favorite aspects of it. I did play a ton of different weapons as well, but as per usual, I settled on the Gunlance, and once we got to Sunbreak, they even gave us the Bullet Barrage, which is like, you just unload all the Gunlance things at once, and you Blast Dash into the monster. And naturally, Gunlance mains all had to come up with a way, we need to just do this skill non-stop. So just get all the things that synergize with quick wire bug recovery and Bullet Barrage, Bullet Barrage, Bullet Barrage. Sick.
Yeah, I may have picked up Gunlance because of your videos on that. Once I saw the Bullet Barrage, I'm like, I'm in. So I had to quite a bit with the Gunlance. It's pretty incredible.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, like talking of the monsters, actually, obviously, you mentioned obviously like the themes. Obviously, we got the yokai, and then you've kind of got folklore monsters in Sunbreak, and even me, I love Gormagala as well. It's probably like top 3 monster for me. And seeing it come back, and I remember when the trailer came out, it's like, is that a Gosarag variant? And then no, Gormagala comes out of nowhere. And like, yeah, Gosarag as well, like, this monster, when it stuns you, get a unique animation where it slowly drags its ice blade up to you and things like that. And then, obviously, I can't get this quest out of my head. I can't remember the name exactly, but when the Curio are kind of at their highest strength, Guise of Gorm is on the horizon, and you go into the Citadel, and everything is gone. There's no spirit birds, there's no endemic life, there's no small monsters. You even see the corpses of large monsters. There's no music, it's silent, and I've not experienced anything like that in a Monster Hunter game. And narrative has caught me off guard so much. That was quite something, and I really wanted to talk about it, like, once I played through it, like, when the game was out, but I couldn't because I wanted other people to have that experience and that surprise. Like, what kind of thing, whether it's a favorite monster from Rise and Sunbreak or a favorite moment like that, what would you say really stood out to you?
Yeah, definitely that moment you described, because it reminded me almost of like Resident Evil. You're like, everything around me is dead. Everything is gone. What is going on? Yeah, just that moment was insane. As you said, I've never experienced something like that with Monster Hunter, where it's just all of a sudden the ecosystem is gone. Because we've always kind of had that living, breathing world, and just to have it vanish.
I'm gonna say that too, because I was streaming that moment actually, and I felt like almost confused, because I was like, is this where it's going later? I don't know. I mean, we're not going to speculate other games or whatever, but that tone is something that kind of was a bit overwhelming for me, because I'm not used to that at all. We're not used to that feeling, that eeriness. And I think that, that was well translated. I mean, huge props to the devs like doing that, because I think it also kind of like created a few more new wrinkles in my brain to think about, okay, what's the future going to hold in other titles? You know what I mean? So I'm always thinking like, okay, they know how to do that very well. So, but of course, the themes. I love Gosrog. I think that is definitely my favorite from that game. And fighting that monster, I think it's just so much fun. So, yeah.
So one of my favorite moments, maybe it's my Portuguese blood or something, but it's when we see the scene with the ship and the captain is in there and they're getting ready for the final assault.
Oh.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh, we're going to fight on the ship. This is going to be amazing. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. But still, having the ship there and that moment where I think he throws a rock or something and the admiral is just standing there, doesn't even move. And then Luchika goes in real quick with the gun, shoots the rock out, but the admiral doesn't even flinch because he's ready for war. We're going in. The friggin' the cannons, were they the Dragonator cannons or whatever it was, that then when you're fighting guys in Magorm, you can actually call them in and they just shoot this explosive Dragonator that starts detonating all over the place. Like, I love that moment. That moment was absolutely amazing. It's not my favorite fight. I still like the fight a lot. If I had to say a favorite fight, it's probably going to be Volstrax. Like, Volstrax in that game is really good. And especially some of the... What was that? There was one of the hazard quests or something at the end of Rise where the laser would just one-shot you. And there's even sometimes a moment where maybe you'll cart and then you're jumping back into that new map. And the second that you land, you're just like, I see. The laser to the face instantly.
The panic. I just remember panic all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I really like Violet Mizutsune, which has a really like interesting like spirit bomb type move. So you're kind of just like staring up at that and trying to like add as much damage as you can. And if that thing hits you, it's all over. So that one in particular is a favorite for me. Another one, a memory I share with Kogath, is fighting Flaming Espinas.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. We
want to hear this.
We were trapped in a room. Not trapped. We were in a room playing basically for an entire day. A TGS demo build. So the difficulty is tweaked, just to be like a little bit tougher. And the you don't have your set and everything, so you're not so comfy. But we basically hunted for an entire day. I think we carted like over, I don't know. What do you think, Kogath? Like 20 times?
Oh, more than that.
That's awesome. That's so cool that you guys shared that together.
That event, we had multiple TGS builds of various Capcom games around. We had Street Fighter. What else was there?
Yeah.
All that us was Monster Hunter and beating Flaming Esp.
Sounds about right. It's like gotta beat it.
Yeah, we did not move. We were hooked. We were locked in until we got it. Yeah, and we finally did get it. And then I went back and I told the team how many tries it took us, and they were very happy. So they loved hearing that it was really tough.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
On release of Flaming Espinas, there's a really fun story because I would always make these very defensive Gunland sets so that I could be super comfortable when I was fighting. So the moment that I'm fighting Flaming Espinas, because, I had seen the trailer and all that, I'm sitting there with my big set and he's coming in with his big nuke that even like starts posturing. The one that one-shots everybody, right? He's coming in with that big nuke. And I could easily Superman dive that, but I was like, nah. My exact words were, I can block this 100%.
Oh, you're one of those. That's like,
I was like super arrogant. It's like, I can block this 100%. And he just like, boom, dead. I was like, oh, okay. I guess not. Never mind.
That's why I try not to talk anymore, because I'm just like, oh, man. I always get, that's like a clip right there. But that's cool. I know the feeling. Oh, man.
Well, I think between all of us, there's been so many good memories with the series, whether we've been playing for the full 20 years or 10 years. So before we wrap up, let's go around the horn. Any closing comments on the 20th anniversary? Kogath, I'll start with you.
Well, as I keep saying, I've been here since the beginning, and it's just so weird to think, when I started playing, I was 18. Now I'm pushing 40. It's like I've grown with this series and been such a big part of it. seen so many different people come through, so many new monsters, and every game just astounds me every time. And I'm really curious what the series will grow into. Just the leaps and bounds we've made going from the 3DS games to World, then Rise. It's like, what's next? I can't wait. And it's been so fun growing with all these different friends I've made along the way, and this community, and all the little jokes we have and can share with each other, and just know exactly what everybody is thinking with it. It's amazing. I love it.
Oh man. Well, first of all, being able to be here with all of you and hearing your stories, I think it's probably the most exciting thing for me, because when I'm playing, a lot of times solo, right? These thoughts go through my mind. I'm like, oh, I wonder if anyone else understands how I feel about this title. And they do. Everyone does. And being a fan, first and foremost, for this series is probably the most rewarding thing of this whole bit right here for Monster Hunter's 20th anniversary. It's insane for me. I think that my friends I still talk to all the time. Every time there's an announcement, we text each other. We write each other in Discord. Like we're immediately writing each other. Did you see? It's like 4 a.m. Did you see that? I went to the restroom, but did you see that? And we text each other, and we're awake somehow at the same time. And then we talk about it. And it's just this ongoing thing with our groups of friends, and even on Twitter, or just X or whatever they call it now. But, it's just, it's awesome. And I can't wait to see the next game. I know it's going to be insane. The team always thinks about the fans. They're always thinking about for the, the next big thing. So I know it's probably going to be insane.
So one of the most special things for Monster Hunter for me is naturally the friendships that are made along the way, like everybody's been saying, because, it was through Monster Hunter that I became friends with Gaijin Hunter, the Eric's Gaming team, all amazing people, and even more content creators that I've created content with, just invited people to the podcast and whatnot. It's been absolutely fantastic. But another thing that I always notice when it comes to Monster Hunter games is that you can tell that the team working on this game is a team that is extremely passionate, because they pay attention to the smallest little details that probably 90% of people are not even going to look. Like, one of the things that I always like bringing up is in the canteen for Monster Hunter World base game, there's that palico that's blowing into the fire with a tube. And he's just sitting there blowing into the fire. And, if you're a part of an animation department, it's super easy to just make an animation and the palico is just sitting there going, and that's it. That's the animation, right? But for some reason, the Monster Hunter team doesn't do that. So they go and they make this palico blow into the fire twice. Then he looks around, looks at the fire. Then he does it again. And then he looks around again. Different animations. Like, it's not the same looking around animation. And then he does it a third time, and the fire, backdrafts onto his face, and he gets, burned. And he goes there's this crazy animation detail that you don't need for any reason, but it's there, and it's the attention to detail that lets you know that, no, this team loves this game. The detail that they go through with the palicos and every little thing that you see, every little interaction that you see throughout the world, that doesn't need to be as detailed as it is for the game to function. It doesn't really have the gameplay effect almost, but it increases the immersion and just showcases the sheer raw passion that this team has for the game. And it never ceases to impress me.
Yeah, well, with that, we're headed to the summer where there's going to be news for Monster Hunter Wilds, and we're also launching Monster Hunter Stories on new platforms. So obviously the future is super bright. We're super excited. And we want to say thanks to you guys for joining us. We were super happy to do this and to have you on and to talk all things Monster Hunter. We love all the passion for the series and the roles that you guys have played and spreading the good word about Monster Hunter. So thank you very much. And we really appreciate it.
Thank you for
having us. Oh my god, this is really awesome. Can't wait for the next game or announcements.
Yeah, it's been super fun, and as Joe said, summer, more news on Monster Hunter Wilds. And obviously, 2025 is getting closer with each passing day. But yeah, here is to the last 20 years of Monster Hunter, and here's to 20 more years. So happy hunting, everyone.
Happy hunting.
Happy hunting.
Hey, I'm back. Did you guys miss me? Zenogre, Nergigante, Gaiacus, Volstrux, Warmagala, Velcana, Nargacuga, Fatalis, Ruiner Nergi, Alatreon, Stygian Zenogre, Abyssal Lagaiacus, Primordial Malzeno, Mizutsune, Old Fatalis, Safijiva, Barakidios, Namiel, Shogurumagala, Crimson Glow Volstrax, 21st Rathalos, 22nd Raging Brachydios, 23rd Tigrex, 24th Furious, 25th Glavenus, 26th Bolt Reaver, 27th Chaotic Gormagala, the Lamadur. Bro, where's Basel? Amatsu, Dorogama, Kezu, Risen, Crimson, Atalka, Yankutku, Bloodbath, Hellblade, Malzeno, Carrot, Devil Joe, Savage Devil Joe, Zenichiba. Bro, where's Basel? Acantor, Astalos, Espinas, Kushala, Soulseer, Cole, Scorned, Dire Morales, 52nd. 52nd, dude. 52nd. Bro, what do you mean? 52nd? Great Jaggy at 68th. Great Jaggy is more popular than Baryon. Got him. Great Jaggy is the first monster I fought. Nakarkos is ahead of Shara. Zamtrios is so low. For all the people always talking about Zamtrios, he's so low. Damn. Plesioth 91st. Atal Naset. They counted Atal Naset as a different monster? Jeez, Jan is so way in the back. Oh my god, poor Celta's queen. She's so awesome. Oh no, Nursilla 108th? Oh man. Duramboros, so underrated. Nimble Snarf. Red Kezu, Elderfrost Gamoth. Getchawacha. Nobody likes Gravios. T141st, guys, Magorm. Zora Magdros, 148th. Just because he's a B-52 bomber. Wait! He was number 52nd, it's because he's the 50. Oh my god, you're right! Man, Garangolm's underrated. Garangolm's an amazing monster. Yeah, Seething Basil's probably near the end. Poor guy. Hypnocatrice. Apex Doubles. Shrouded Nursilla. Oof! Nobody likes Ibushi. There's your Rachna Kadaki right there near the end where it belongs. There's your Somnicant. Should be even lower, to be honest. Snow Baron. Oof. Jesus, people did not like Narwa. Oh, is this the end? I thought that would be more. I actually thought that would be more stuff. There was just the ending of the countdown. I wasn't aware of that. Alright. Okay, so listen, guys. Before y'all start leaving, let me just tell you something. I'm going to be checking out what happened on the Japanese side of things, because I've been told there's some more stuff to look at there. But, first and foremost, you can hit that like button. It helps out a lot. And I'm going to be bringing in the chat onto screen. And I would really appreciate it, like, if you're a Monster Hunter fan, if you guys can go ahead and just pour some hearts out in chat for the Monster Hunter development team for continuously delivering a fantastic experience. You know? I think that would be awesome. You know, you can say like happy hunting, thank you Capcom, happy birthday, whatever you feel like saying, you know? I think that'd be awesome. You guys want to participate in that? And I'll be forwarding this portion of the video towards the community managers. Thank you very much, Monster Hunter team. We really appreciate you guys for all the effort you put in, all the details, and all of the amazing experiences that you guys have provided to us through Monster Hunter. It's been absolutely amazing. Happy anniversary. Everybody in this chat, I feel, loves this franchise. So I just wanted to give the community a bit of a voice. And this is essentially the result. We appreciate you guys. Thank you all very much for what you do. Arigatou gozaimashita, I believe is how you say it in Japanese. So thank you. Happy hunting. All right. Now, I want to go ahead and I want to check out what was on the Japanese version to see if there's anything different. Wait, let me just see. Let me pause this. Let's take a look-see here. It was 2 hours, so I believe that the show should have been pretty much the same thing that we got. So, like, there should be the interviews here at the beginning. Yeah, so this is the countdown. Then there should be the interviews, right? That's what I would predict. Oh, wait, no, their thing was different. Okay, so... yeah, here's the interview segments. And then they had like a live segment here. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's the box for Monster Hunter Dose.
では続いていきたいと思います。続いてはちょっと時代が進みました。2005年から2000なんて
Okay, so then there's more director interviews. This is all the stuff that we watched in our stream.
1回目がですね、そうそうこね。肉球になってるんですよ。
Ah, the PlayStation Portable.
というか。ましたけど、たくさんいらしていただいて、
でそこからゲームを見たんじゃないですか。はいはいはい。
で川を横断して、まあ割り切りどころもこう
はった方が、
それをもう少し取り組んだと。
受けてて嬉しいですね。
そうね。海外だと。
の仕事もねなくなって
What the hell?
イベント呼ばれて俺が出て誰が喜ぶんだと思ったからちょっと体験作っていこうと思って体験作っていって呼び込みがあったと
VR 機器を使った XR ウォークが復活
Oh, this is the VR experience. Dude, I want to do this. I want to watch that from the beginning. Show us the VR experience thing.
24開幕どうも皆さんこんにちはモンハン部マネージャーの三田寺理沙です ただいま
Like,
ユ
look
ニ
at
バー
this.
サル・スタジオ・ジャパンではモンスターハンター USJ 祭が開催中。最新の VR 機器を使った XR ウォークが復活。さらに今回はセリエナの食事場でモンハン飯が体験できるらしいぞ。早速行ってみよう。どうも皆さんこんにちは。モンハン部マネージャーの三田寺理沙と石戸ゆりかです。本日はユニバに到着。
Okay, let's see. What else? Oh. Wait, there's more.
さあここからは最新の VR 機器を装備し本格的に渡りのいて地を探索。
Damn, they go like with backpacks and stuff. Really big VR headsets. Is that a hammer? It looks like Nerdy's hammer. Oh, no, it's a bow. Dude, I want to do that.
全部がリアルで射なんかしちゃったりの癒しプレート。ハンターたちの体を温める。
Bro, I gotta go visit Universal Studios Japan.
肉団子 A はこれです。これ何牛かな何でこのプレートははいということで、ワールドでの超興奮体験全身でお楽しみいただきたいと思います。
いや平井さんやったいけるってできますんで。
行きたいなと思っております。
Wish I could understand Japanese.
さあではこ
Just don't have the time.
でりょうさんからもうお祭り感とこのキーワー
So we have more developer
ドっていうの
interviews.
でシャチベ
お祭り感満
今日新しいやつ
いただきましたし、やっぱり僕は
Oh, I guess they have like Japanese influencers out there with them. I'm so jelly! I want to get to introduce Ryozu, interview Ryozu. I still need to interview Ryozu and Yoshi P before I die.
まずはトーク映像。
は言わんけど、なんかそうなんか気にまずねなんかあれが成人
ので、ぜひそちらもよく。
Oh, the whole thing about the Kirin horns.
とかなんかパラセーリングみたいなので
What the hell is going on here?
飛べますよみたいなのね、あった時にめちゃめちゃ公式です。
公式の
スターハンターライズ3
大気の特徴を生かした感じの普通のではなくて
変えた
ことにはなります。
他の話
今度ユーザー同士そして
はい、
月曜日の23時50そして3月14日にはいよいよ2回目の
Monster Hunter
お花結びサクション4版の
Stories.
やってくれてるんですね。
そうなんですよ。もう
The whole Street Fighter collab thing. Oh, what the hell is this?
ようなものになっていますので、楽しみです。はい、ぜひ続報もご期待ください。はい、
楽しみに。
ありがとうございます。のコレクターズ作した20周年をお祝いするスペシ
Damn.
ャルアイテムです。2024年4月5日
You
金曜日
treasure?
より
So is this actually like
ユートレジャーさんのサイトで予約
silver?
販売開始ですのでお見逃しなく。
Like silver and gold, I would imagine.
これ
ということで
お値段だけ言っておきます。
質があるんです。
安く感じる。
安く感じる。
Damn.
うまいですね。高い。
Those look awesome.
予約ね。
Oh, what is that? That's Dread Queen.
前に倒せば。
Oh, those look really cool. Is this art from somebody? I'm assuming it's art from the. Yeah, it's art from these creators, I would imagine.
はい、今回はあと
These
一
look
応
really
公開という
nice.
ことなので、はい、店舗の方での発売などの予定はあるん
Yeah,
です
these
が、
look
まだ
really
情報の
nice.
方は。おお、
こちらもサンプルがございます。
Seiko Monster Hunter watches.
前に買わなあかんね。
So
それぞれ
much
のねモデル
merch.
を皆さんにお持ちいただき。
ごめんなさい。
Ooh, an Alatreon
さ
statue.
っき X でももう届いて手元にあってって。
コラボホームページより発売日お知らせ
DMSI
メール
gaming
登録が
chair.
できますので、詳しくはシークレットラボホームページを
This
ご
one
覧くだ
themed
さ
around
い。
Fatalis, it seems like.
そして視聴
Okay. I guess that was the Japanese show.
それでは行きましょう。モンスターハンター20周年。
And then they give you the countdown again. So just out of curiosity, was it actually 52? I know that it was like in the 50s. I didn't necessarily memorize which position it was. It was 52 because he's the B-52 bomber. Oh my god! Oh my god! Anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this live stream. Happy anniversary to the Monster Hunter team. Fantastic job. Looks like Seething was 73, actually. Fantastic job with these amazing games. I can't wait for Monster Hunter Wilds. But before that, naturally, we have Dragon's Dogma 2, which is coming out later this month, which we're going to be playing the ever-living crap out of. So, yeah. Thank you all very much for hanging out with me here. If you guys enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, bell notification icon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Stay strong. Stay safe. Peace out.